When Yimo set up the spirit sense barrier formation, he went into his golden page world and took out the time formation disk. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying immortal formation in a short time. When Yimo set up the spirit sense barrier formation, he went into his golden page world and took out the time formation disk. Without it, he wouldn't be able to finish studying immortal formation in a short time. Sister Qianqin, did you do this to your face purposely? Jie Yokue looked at the hideous Jin Qianqing and asked. She had been here for a while and knew the situation here. Jin Qianqing nodded yes. If I didn't do this I would have long died. You're lucky you came with Yi Qianbei. If you came alone like me a tragic fate would await you. The most terrifying cultivator in the city isn't Fengxian but that Wang Jing. He's bad in the shadows, Fengxian is bad overtly. Wang Jing is more vicious than Fengxian. Everyone thinks that Fengxian is the worst but he isn't. How do you know? Jie Yokue asked in confusion. Jin Qianqing thought and said I'm a level 7 Grandmaster and in order to leave here I often watch the rhythm of the tide at the border of the island. I'm very careful and I usually set up a stealth formation. One day, I saw Wang Jing come here with his Dao partner. I thought they were going to hunt for corner soul weed but then I knew they weren't. Wang Jing ambushed his Dao partner from behind and killed her. Jie Yokue said in shock and immediately said there must be a conflict between them. No. Jin Qianqing shook her head. That female cultivator was disaster transformation state. She went to Wang Jing on her own accord and became his Dao partner. She was very obedient to him. There's no way they had conflict. Plus I know why Wang Jing killed that female cultivator. He said something before he killed her. What did he say? Jie Yokue asked desperately. Even Luo Ying wanted to know. There was disgust in Jin Qianqing's eyes that Wang Jing is worse than a dog. He killed her and said you waste too much of my spirit stones. You need 10 spirit stones to cultivate every day so I have no choice but to send you off. Jie Yokue was in disbelief. Killing his Dao partner for 10 spirit stones a day? 10 spirit stones wasn't enough to recover cultivation essence for a disaster transformation state cultivator. This was unimaginable that a truth realization state cultivator would do this. Worse than a pig. Even Luo Ying frowned and cursed. Jin Qianqing shook her head. This isn't the worst. The worst is that he pretended he was heavily injured and came back to the city holding a massive funeral for his Dao partner, grieving that she died in the corner soul weed. He said he was heavily injured trying to save his Dao partner. He would trade his life for his Dao partners. I'll ask Brother Yi to kill this animal. Jie Yokue got up angrily. Yimo was studying immortal formation in the time formation disk and it's been a year and Yimo finally understood what tide flow was. It was a type of immortal formation flags positioning. Using the environment to change the location of the formation flag while using these positions to change the formation. It was a common method of immortal formations. No wonder Jin Qianqing said that one must know the rule of the tide flow to go out. If you could find one of the rules, you could find a formation flag and use that to calculate the position of the second formation flag. This was like the Sand River in West Extreme State. If he found one seal flag he could find the second one. But the tide flow was a changing rule, so 50 years wasn't just bare minimum time needed to find it. Thinking how the Shin brothers were only less than 500 years old and both body condensation state, could they really find the rule? If they didn't then Yimo knew he would have to find it himself. It wasn't practicable for Yimo to spend a few decades to watch it. Yimo was worried that since this pulse was an immortal formation it would be very hard to tear open space here. The only way was to find the formation door, Yimo sighed. Even if the Shin brothers knew the tide flow route, Jin Qianqing was unreliable. She only could tell this was an immortal formation but she was just a level 7 formation grandmaster. It was impossible for her to find the way out of the immortal formation. It seemed he still needed to rely on himself. Yimo focused his mind and completely devoted himself to studying immortal formation and even took out immortal crystals for experiments. The city calmed down and no one dared to go near Yimo's place to walk around. A month later, the time formation disk stopped moving and Yimo happened to wake up at this time. He looked at the used-up spirit stones. He didn't dare to believe he was in solitary cultivation for 9 years. He used at most this much time to reach from level 1 Formation Master to level 9 Formation Grand Master, and yet he used this much time to reach level 1 Immortal Formation Master. Luckily it would be faster to reach level 2 Immortal Formation Master from now. The Immortal Formation means were completely different to the Cultivation Realm Formation means. Of course, everyone had different means based on their understanding of formation. Yi Mo was just using the formation theory of Jin Jinlins and birthed his own formation means, but it was a bit hard as he hadn't been in the immortal realm. Yi Mo walked out of the room and found only Luo Ying was studying pills. Jin Chenqing and Jie Yokue weren't here. Seeing Yi Mo come out, Luo Ying quickly got up and said, "You're doing looking at those things?" "Yes, I have an approximate understanding, we can go out." "Where's Yokue and Jin Chenqing?" Yi Mo held Luo Ying's hand and asked. Yokue was bored and asked Jin Chenqing to go with her to the market. Luo Ying said. Yi Mo was speechless. There was no point in going there, there was no good things. Here he casually put away his cultivation artifact cultivation home and was prepared to leave here. Before Yi Mo made a notice, Jin Chenqing, Jie Yokue, and the Shin brothers were here. They immediately acme up to greet Yi Mo. Shin Yi was robust and seemed innocent, but he was very cunning. He said, "Without need Yi Mo to ask my brother, and I have been here for 90 years. Ever since we got here we've been thinking of all ways to go out. We're weak but we know some of the rules of how the corner soul weed move in the southeast direction and some of the tide times at the island, southeast?" Yi Mo repeated. There was no sense of direction here, how did they know? Shin, she said in embarrassment. Yi Qian Bei, we just set up the directions ourselves in order to convenience our observations. Good method. Yi Mo raised his thumb. But there was a flaw in this way, using experience to judge may result in error. The compass used formation to point the way, but compasses didn't work here. This made Yi Mo think of a thing that wouldn't point with formation. He took out an exquisite hairbrush. "Brother Yi, you have a brush?" Jie Yokue could tell it was for girls to use. Yi Mo saw Luo Ying come over and smiled apologetically to her. "I met a girl near Flowing Snake called Kai Wanqing. She went missing in Luo Yu continent." Yi Mo saw Luo Ying come over and smiled apologetically to her. "I met a girl near Flowing Snake called Kai Wanqing. She went missing in Luo Yu continent." Yi Mo sighed. He was worried about where Kai Wanqing went. Luo Ying was a little uncomfortable, but hearing this explanation, she immediately said, "I know Kai Wanqing. She came over with Sister Yuhua, but we don't know where she is. We need to go find her if we have the time." Yi Mo's tone was dejected. "I didn't find her in North Far State nor West Extreme State. South Peace State is too big. I believe if she is in South Peace State she would have been able to hear about Mo Yu City. She didn't come over. I'm afraid she isn't in South Peace State." Luo Ying went up and held his hand. "Don't worry, just like me, I had been in Black Ice Sect cultivating and never cared about what happened outside. If I wasn't with Beiwei I wouldn't even know you were at South Peace State. Maybe Kai Wanqing is like me, she would be able to come to Mo Yu City when she is strong enough." Yi Mo nodded. "She gave me this hairbrush. There's a telephone number on it. It's also a military compass." "Oh, this is a compass." Jie Yokue squeezed over looking at the small thing embedded in the hairbrush. Luo Ying smiled. "Yes, it always points to the south. So this direction is south." Jie Yokue pointed at the small pointer. Yi Mo shook his head. "Not necessarily. This compass is made based on magnetic field theory. The direction it points on Luo Yu isn't necessarily south, but the direction wouldn't change and it wouldn't be affected by the formation here like the formation compass." Seeing Yi Mo take out something that could point directions, Xinyi walked over nervously. "Yi Qian Bei, then we." Yi Mo waved his hand. "Your experience is very good, I'm willing to collaborate with you guys, let's go together." Then, Yi Mo released Blue Moon. "Get on, we'll leave the sea corner now." As soon as Blue Moon activated, a dashing light came. Yi Mo looked at the person. "Brother Ji Yu, are you coming with us?" Ji Yu Hezhou shook his head. "I know I don't have a way to persuade you to stay." Many cultivators who thought they could leave left and there was no news of them ever again. Then cultivators who came in again say they didn't make it out. "I can only wish you success, Brother Yi, take care." Ji Yu Hezhou admired Yi Mo greatly for being able to come back from the depth of the sea corner, but he didn't think Yi Mo could get out. Ge Huzhou thought of his own life too seriously. Yi Mo was planning to give him a bottle of pills before he left, but when Peng Huiyang sent people to harass Luo Ying and Jie Yokue, he didn't even come help. Yi Mo laughed. In that case, I'm going, take care. Then, Blue Moon disappeared from the city. Seeing this, there was a faint sense of regret. He couldn't describe it. He felt that he should have gone with Yi Mo. Seeing this, Wang Jing breathed easy. His face was gloomy, but pity he knew that even if Yi Mo slapped his face, he wouldn't be able to do anything to Yi Mo. He glared at Ge Huzhou. If he didn't always spend his time in the sea corner, he would want to take revenge on him. Blue Moon didn't fly very far and stopped at the border of the island. Yi Mo took out a jade slip to Xin Yi, inscribed the rule you know and the tidal situation. Xin Yi handed a jade slip he prepared already to Yi Mo. Qian Bei, I've already recorded it, please have a look. Yi Mo nodded. He was very happy with this Xin Yi. Countless years and countless cultivators had been trapped here. Some of them would know more than the Xin brothers, but none of them made it out. Even the Xin brothers might eventually die of old age or to the corner soul weed here. Compared to them, at least they tried to go out. These more powerful cultivators like Wang Jing had a sliver of chance, but if they've given up the will to go out, they killed that last line of hope for themselves. Yi Mo looked at the jade slip and checked it out himself before giving it to Jin Qianqing. Then, he controlled Blue Moon to flying slowly into the depth. The Xin brothers have always been watching here and could tell that Yi Mo was flying towards the direction they found through the rule and rejoiced. At least the news they provided was useful. But soon, they felt something wrong. Blue Moon went faster and faster. Eventually it was faster than extreme-grade cultivation artifact. Seeing this, their hearts hung up and even regretted. This Yi Qian Bei didn't buy into anyone at the city due to his power, and even in here he was this impulsive. The corner soul weed wouldn't care who you are. If they continued like this, they would be killed by the corner soul weed. Now, they were flying far from the direction they studied. Regardless if Yi Mo was seeking death, the Xin brothers knew they wouldn't be able to leave even if they studied here for 1,000 years. Thinking about this, they just admitted to fate. Jin Qianqing was also completely lost too. Yi Mo was overjoyed. However, he found that the Xin brothers' rule only applied to a few hundred kilometers and Ken knew they weren't able to leave here with that. But soon he found that the compass pointed in the direction of the corner soul weed flow. The tidal flow was completely useless. This meant he didn't even need to look at their jade slip and just keep flying using the compass. What shook Yi Mo was that he found when heading in this direction, no matter how fast he was, no corner soul weed came over. Sometimes, the corner soul weed was clearly about to ram into Blue Moon, but it suddenly changed direction. An ordinary cultivator would be overjoyed, but Yi Mo was annoyed. He was planning to collect more corner soul weed on the way, but he couldn't catch even one. Yi Mo kept changing directions, but he was only following the compass as the needle kept changing directions. An ordinary compass had such effect. Yi Mo was overjoyed. Soon the brothers and Jin Qianqing found that no matter how fast Yi Mo went, they didn't smash into corner soul weed no matter what. The Xin brothers were overjoyed. It seemed Yi Qian Bei really knew how to get out. Jin Qianqing admired Yi Mo even more. She knew from Jie Yokue that Yi Mo was a level 9 formation grandmaster, and now Yi Mo used just 9 days looking at the jade slips left behind by her ancestor and found a way out. Yi Mo didn't think so. He felt this wasn't just a formation. He would rather think this was a high-level natural formation than an immortal formation. The sea corner didn't seem big when they came in, but when they left it seemed huge. One day later, Blue Moon turned 180 degrees and kept flying as though they were flying back. Yi Qian Bei, are we going around in circles here? Jin Qianqing finally couldn't resist asking. No, Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles. No. Yi Mo said affirmatively. He was taken directionless by the compass, but he knew they weren't going around in circles. This was more than one Blue Moon had turned 180 degrees. Other than Luo Ying, the rest of the people were starting to think Blue Moon was going in circles. On the 4th day, a huge coral appeared before them. Only now did they realize that Blue Moon really didn't go in circles. But Yi Mo soon found that even if Blue Moon left this coral, the compass was pointing here. This meant that he would still be brought back here. Everyone else realized this problem and looked at Yi Mo. Yi Mo carefully released his spirit sense out and checked before saying this isn't necessarily an immortal formation. Even if it is, it wouldn't be lower than level 6. This isn't something we can break out of. Jin Qianqing was dumbfounded. This meant that even if her ancestor was here, they might not be able to get out. Yi Mo put away Kai Wanqing's brush and said the sea corner is probably a sealed-off dimension. If you want to leave, you would have to tear open space. Hearing this, they looked at each other. Tear open space? To be able to tear open the space in the cultivation realm, one must be more powerful than Hollow Immortal. Was this something a cultivation realm cultivator could do? And even if you're extremely powerful, you wouldn't be able to tear open space at other places. The only possibility is here. Yi Mo pointed at the coral. His power was beyond Hollow Immortal and had been to the Void Fissure. Yi Mo continued, this space isn't necessarily to another realm, it might quite possibly lead to the Heartless Sea, but the stability of this space is no lower than any void space. Brother Yi, how do you know? If we really need to tear open space, what do we do? My dad said those cultivators who can tear open space are very rare powerful beings, Jieyokue said. Yi Mo smiled and didn't know how to reply. He had a feeling that outside here was the Heartless Sea, but he couldn't explain this. If it wasn't for the compass we wouldn't be able to come here, but now that we are, I can try. Yi Mo saw the other people except Luo Ying look at him in confusion, clearly not thinking he would be able to tear open space. Yi Mo signaled everyone to go into Blue Moon and threw out a few formation flags. He set up acceleration formation and then used all of his cultivation essence and spirit sense and grabbed. Ripples invisible to the eye spread out and Blue Moon shaked. Everyone felt the surroundings shake as though Blue Moon was about to fall into an endless abyss. The space was shaking greater and greater until there was a low humming sound. Yi Mo's face grew more and more pale. He thought since Chu Jiuyu could tear open space he would be fine, but now that he tried, he realized how hard it was. Luckily he could still feel the space barrier. Weaker cultivators wouldn't even be able to feel it. Open, Yi Mo roared and a light crack sounded. A black crevice was torn open by Yi Mo. Before they could react, Yi Mo took Blue Moon and darted in through the acceleration formation. Then, Blue Moon disappeared and the Void Fissure closed. A mere truth realization state level 8 little guy is already absurd enough to be able to find here. I didn't expect he would be able to tear open the dimensional barrier here. A blue-robed cultivator appeared on the rock when Blue Moon disappeared. There seemed to be a binding on him that even spirit sense couldn't see, making him unable to leave here. After a long while, he laughed. Jueya, you can't blame me. He found here himself, and before I even woke up he tore open the space barrier. You are to blame yourself. This space barrier can't even stop a truth realization state level 8. I'll pretend I saw nothing and go back to sleep. Heartless Sea, this is the Heartless Sea. Shin Yi looked at the sea surface and breathed the spirit Kai-filled air. The Shin brothers and Jin Qianqing were ready to die with Yi Mo, but they really succeeded. Yi Qianbei, I didn't expect you to be able to leave the sea corner so easily. Jin Qianqing, thank you for saving my life. Jin Qianqing was shaking with emotions. After their excitement, Shin Yi kneeled down to Yi Mo. Yi Qianbei, WN Bei's life is yours now. If you don't mind us, WN Bei will go back and bring my wife to follow Qianbei. Yi Mo approved of Shin Yi's meticulous and careful attitude, but he didn't want them to follow. He let them get up and said, I just casually helped, plus you guys helped a lot too. I thought we brothers were going to die at the sea corner, but Qianbei left so easily. Shin Yi was too excited. Easy. If he didn't have their experience, Jin Qianqing's jade slip and Kai Wanqing's brush, would he be able to leave? Even if that was all satisfied, Yi Mo didn't know that if the blue-robed guy wanted to stop him he wouldn't be able to get out as well. It seemed easy to others when he tore open the dimension, but he was God state body refinement. His cultivation essence was on par with Hollow Immortal Cultivator. Even so, he almost spat blood tearing the barrier open. Only Luo Ying knew Yi Mo's hardship and quietly asked him, are you okay? I'm fine, just some cultivation essence backlash, I'll be good. Yi Mo patted Luo Ying's hand. He knew that Luo Ying seemed to calmest, but her emotions to him were on par in intensity as Ning Qingxue. She always hid the intensity in front of others. Where is Qianbei going? She wanted to follow Yi Mo even more. Solo cultivators like them would have much better cultivation environment if they found a good sect. Yi Mo was a master he had never seen before and his temperament was super. Those two truth realization state level 9 in the city were trash compared to him. Yi Mo smiled. I'm going to East Black State. If you're going to East Black State I can take you there. If you want to go South Peace State you can come with me too. After I'm done with East Black State, I'll be going back to South Peace State. Before they replied, Jin Qianqing bowed. Qianbei, Wenbei wishes to follow Qianbei back to South Peace State. Yi Mo waved his hand. No problem, after I'm done with East Black State we can go back together. We might even take the teleportation formation back. She said excitedly. Qianbei, we're going to East Black State, my big brother needs to pick up his wife. If Qianbei is willing, we will follow Qianbei back to South Peace State together. South Peace State Spirit Kai was so much better than East Black State. She knew that their power was quite good at East Black State but it was nothing at South Peace State. Of course I have a city in South Peace State called Moyu City. You can settle there. Yi Mo agreed without hesitation. I know where this is. Jieyokue said. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is my Zhuyin Island. Jieyokue said desperately and looked at Yi Mo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. This is the east side of Lost Soul Ruins. A little bit down is my Zhuyin Island. Jieyokue said desperately and looked at Yi Mo. Clearly she wanted to go check it out. Yi Mo didn't expect to come to here. Everyone looked back. There was no sign of Sea Corner. The Sea Corner was indeed everywhere. No one would know where it would appear. Yokue lead the way. We'll go see Zhuyin Island. Yi Mo knew what Jieyokue meant and said. This was the first time coming to Zhuyin Island but Yi Mo approved of Jiefeng greatly. He didn't know what it looked like before but it definitely wasn't like this. The island was full of craters and there was a few huge ravines showing that the spirit range here was taken away. Jieyokue flew onto the island and started crying at the ruins. She had been living here for a few decades but now it turned into this. Her father wasn't not known if alive and so were her sisters. Luo Ying and Jin Qianqing went down to comfort her. Yi Mo and Xin brothers came down too. From the position of the island, Yi Mo could tell it was definitely an extremely good place to cultivate in the Heartless Sea. However, this Yuzizhen was really cruel, damaging it like this. I'm going to get revenge with that woman. Jieyokue couldn't hold the anger in her heart and clenched her fists. But Yi Mo felt Jiefeng wasn't necessarily killed by Yuzizhen. He hadn't seen Jiefeng fight but he knew Jiefeng wasn't simple. He was definitely no match for Yuzizhen but it was quite possible he was able to escape from her. Jieyokue asked Yi Mo to seal the island with a formation and add essence blood verification allowing only people from the Jie family to enter. Then she left a jade slip inside. Tell her family to go look for her at South Peace State Moyu City. Yi Mo was originally planning to look for trouble with Yuzizhen but now that she said this, she would lose motivation to cultivate if he annihilated Peng Island. He would teach the spirit sense cultivation method to Jieyokue. As for if she would be strong enough to take on Yuzizhen, Yi Mo knew that despite Yuzizhen being powerful, he believed that Jieyokue wouldn't be weaker than her after his tutelage. It was probably impossible for Jieyokue to get revenge in the cultivation realm as she probably ascended already but at least Jieyokue could go annihilate her Peng Island. Blue Moon sped up after leaving the island and the Xin brothers finally realized that Blue Moon wans T at its max speed before. With such speed, it probably wouldn't take long from East Black State to South Peace State. They were guessing what level Blue Moon was, half immortal artifact or immortal artifact. Blue Moon howled past. The spirit beasts on the side long hid away seeing Blue Moon's speed. Good flying magic artifact was eye-catching but if it was too good, it would make people scared. Without enough power, who would dare to waltz around the Heartless Sea with it? The Xin brothers didn't stay inside to rest, they stood on the deck the entire month. Their hearts were filled with excitement and this indescribable feeling. When they came to the Heartless Sea, they had to be careful fearing they would be caught by high-level cultivators or spirit beast. But now, they arrogantly howled past in the sky without hiding at all. This was power. They couldn't describe their admiration for Yi Mo with words. They had made up their mind to follow Yi Mo to South Peace State to cultivate. There were a few high-level spirit beast and even a level 11 spirit beast as well as few truth realization state cultivators, but none dared to stop Blue Moon. They wouldn't even be able to stop it in the first place as well. A month later, 6 cultivators acme to a south coastal city of East Black State. 3 men and 3 women. They were Yi Mo and them, and they arrived at Shitong City. They came here because the Shin brothers had a merchant association here. They were finding resources here all the time, and when they were strong enough they just set up their own merchant association. The 2 left the city in an adventure and accidentally went into the sea corner. Big brother, why did Ishi Merchant Association change names? Shin Shi looked at the Gang My Merchant Association sign and asked. Shin Yi frowned. They had been out for 100 years, but in the cultivation realm there were cases where the owner of the merchant association had been gone for more than 1,000 years. Go in and ask. Shin Yi frowned. They weren't there, but there were their men. His Dao partner would manage this place too. Something must have happened. Shin Yi and Shin Shi walked in, but it was an attendant. They didn't know who greeted them. Shin Yi dazed and immediately asked, where is the owner of this merchant association? Seeing Shin Yi was much more stronger than him, he said politely, friend, if you need anything you can ask me. Shin 11 asked, isn't this place Ishi Merchant Association? Why did it become Gang My Merchant Association? The attendant quickly said the name was changed by the boss. I don't know why the change occurred. Shin Yi and Shin 11 glanced at each other and said, call out your owner or we will smash this place. Yes, I'll call immediately. The attendant quickly sent a message. After a long while, 2 cultivators got down, 1 male 1 female. The male immediately looked at Luo Ying and his eyes couldn't move again. Yi Mo frowned, he was very annoyed. Lu Shuanggang, what happened? Why are you in my shop? When did my shop become yours? Shin Shi cursed. This Lu Shuanggang was their enemy. The cultivator only now saw Shin 11 and his face changed. His eyes blinked, not knowing what to say. Brother, Shin Shi just realized that Shin Yi's hands were bursting with veins as he stared at that female cultivator. He reacted and called sister-in-law. You guys are back. The female cultivator said bitterly and didn't do anything. Yi Mo heard Shin Shi say that his brother and sister-in-law's relationship was very good. Shin Yi was thinking of his wife everywhere, but they came back and met in such a way. Shin Yi's face was green and after a moment he spat blood. Shin Shi quickly held him. Brother, are you okay? Even if the merchant association is taken away we can take it back. Plus, we don't need it now, we're going with Yi Qian Bei to South Peace State. We don't need this shitty merchant association. Nothing to be angry about. Shin Yi didn't say anything. This female cultivator was his Dao partner Wu Mai. They had been together for 100 years, how could he not know her? Her ears were red and breathing heavy. This meant she just had sex with someone else. She was like this every time they had sex. He didn't come back for 100 years and this happened, how could he not be furious? This was a huge irony to their past affection. Wu Mai, very well, very well. Shin Yi's hands were shaking uncontrollably. That woman who kept saying she couldn't leave him at all, the woman who thought for him about everything, not only gave his shop away but to his enemy. Shin 11 immediately realized that Lu Shuanggang not only took their shop and got together with sister-in-law. This made Shin Shi burst out in fury and released his magic artifact. In that instant, Shin Shi's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Shuanggang. He was body condensation state level 7, Shin Shi was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Shuanggang. In that instant, Shin Shi's magic artifact shot a dark ray at Lu Shuanggang. He was body condensation state level 7, Shin Shi was only body condensation state level 4. He definitely was no match for Lu Shuanggang. Seeing this, Lu Shuanggang sneered. He wasn't scared of Shin 11 at all, he stayed at the same power while he reached body condensation state level 7. A mere body condensation state middle stage dared to fight him, a body condensation state tertiary stage? He released a dark ring. In his eyes the Shin brothers were lonely ghosts. Since they got caught in his hands he wasn't going easy. He sneered. Shin Shi, I slept your woman, so what? He was about to release his magic artifact, but then he opened his mouth in shock. He found he completely couldn't move and could only watch as Shin Shi's magic artifact loomed over him. At this moment, how could Shin Shi not know Yi Mo was helping him? He fully activated his magic artifact without any defense. The female cultivator on the side also realized something was wrong. He was hoping Lu Shuangeng would kill the brothers and she wouldn't feel guilty, but now she saw Lu Shuangeng couldn't move. She quickly called stop, his 8-star sect Changqing sect's elder's personal disciple. You can't. But before she finished, Shin Shi's magic artifact tore open Lu Shuangeng. Bloody sprayed everywhere. Shin 11 couldn't completely obliterate people like Yi Mo, but he felt this was more satisfying. An essence spirit flew out from Lu Shuangeng's body, but before it charged out very far it was devoured by a black figure. It was shadowless. Yi Mo disliked this Lu Shuangeng, so he gave his essence spirit to shadowless. Bitch. Shin Shi looked coldly at Wu Mai and said. Wu Mai's face was white and she said shakily, this isn't my fault. You went out for more than 100 years. How can I hold this merchant association together alone? I could only work with someone. Bullshit. Work with someone in bed? Shameless wretch. Big brother was thinking of you every day and came back to pick you up. Shin Shi spat. Shin Yi suddenly shook his head. Shin Shi, don't say any more, we've already wasted a lot of Yi Qianbei's time. Let's go, there's nothing left for me to cherish here. Go, you killed my Changqing sect members and you want to leave? A cold voice sounded. The Shin brothers just realized that outside the shop was filled with cultivators. A long-haired cultivator walked in and looked coldly at the Shin brothers. Wu Mai looked down in embarrassment seeing this cultivator. Mai, come over, who killed my disciple? Never mind, I'll kill them all. Remember, it's Chu Liang from Changqing sect who killed you. The long-hair cultivator scanned them and then he saw Luo Ying and Jie Yokuei. Then, he couldn't take his eyes off them anymore. Seeing this, how could Shin Yi not know that this woman slept with master and disciple? He howled into the sky. I, Shin Yi, was blind to love a filthy bitch like you. Killing you is dirtying my hands, piss off. Wu Mai, who had some regret, heard this and lost her sense of regret. She said coldly, I don't owe you anything, you have no right to say this to me. Shin Yi didn't reply, it was as though Wu Mai was just air. Wu Mai sneered. Yi Mo scanned Chu Liang's eyes and there was contempt on his face, a mere disaster transformation state level 3, and he dares to say shit. Shin 11, go kill him. Shin Shi heard this and immediately answered yes, Yi Qianbei. Yi Mo killed truth realization state level 9 easily. This disaster transformation state elder dared to act cocky to him. He released his magic artifact and snarled, remember, the one who killed you is Shin 11. Then, he pierced his magic artifact like he did to Lu Shuangeng. Everyone was dazed. A body condensation state cultivator dared to attack Chu Liang and say such cocky words. Was his brain disabled? Chu Liang laughed in fury. I want to see how you're going to kill me. But like Lu Shuangeng, he only said half a sentence and there was terror in his eyes. He clearly saw Shin Shi's magic artifact attack him, but he couldn't resist at all. Domain, truth realization state cultivator, Chu Liang said. Splurge. Blood exploded out. No matter how powerful a disaster transformation state cultivator was, if he couldn't move at all, being bound by Yi Mo's domain, even a golden core state cultivator could kill him. An essence spirit flew out and was also gobbled by shadowless. Wu Mai looked dazedly at her two men being killed by Shin Shi, not believing Shin Shi was this powerful. Let's go. Yi Mo shook his head and said. Haha, brother Yi. People really encounter people everywhere in life, a blue shirt man called out and saluted with his fists. Yi Mo immediately recognized this cultivator and saluted with his fists. Happily, brother Fu, people indeed meet everywhere. Fu Wu was a friend Yi Mo met in the small world. He saved Ji Mai due to him, and this woman wanted to follow Yi Mo. The three drank together and Ji Mai became his maid. She had deep calculations and Yi Mo had forgotten about this woman, but Fu Wu was a worthy friend. His ideal was to walk through all the famous mountains and lands. Now that he was at East Black State, did he still believe so too? I didn't expect brother Yi would always be ahead of me. In the Hangshui city in the small world, you were much stronger than me, and here you're still much stronger than me. Fu Wu laughed, but he didn't seem unhappy at all. Before Yi Mo could reply, he said, "Let's go find a place to drink. These people are." Yi Mo simply introduced everyone. Fu Wu's character immediately got everyone's good impression. Jin Qianqing kept looking at Fu Wu, but pity his power was too weak, only nascent soul state. They found a spirit rest tower and Fu Wu said to Yi Mo, "I wanted to find you before, but you left the small world and I came to East Black State. I thought I would never be able to see you again, but I saw you now. I can tell you this now." Yi Mo took out a 10,000-year stalagmite marrow wine and took out 7 cups, pouring some for everyone. "Brother Fu, please continue." Fu Wu's face turned serious. "Brother Yi, I heard you were looking for a woman called Mu Xiaoyun in the small world. She's a sect members of the Ice Lake, is this true?" Yi Mo got up suddenly and grabbed Fu Wu's hands in excitement. "That's right. Brother Fu, Mu Xiaoyun is my wife. Where is she?" Even Luo Ying got up in excitement. She knew Mu Xiaoyun's place in Yi Mo's heart, she wouldn't be lower than them. Yi Mo missed Mu Xiaoyun as much as Yi Mo. Even Luo Ying got up in excitement. She knew Mu Xiaoyun's place in Yi Mo's heart, she wouldn't be lower than them. Yi Mo missed Mu Xiaoyun as much as Yi Mo. Fu Wu waved his hand and said, "Brother Yi, don't worry, you won't be able to find her now even if you go. When I heard about Brother Yi searching all over the small world for Mu Xiaoyun, I took notice. Once I heard 2 ordinary martial artists collecting herbs talking about the Magical Continent Sect tournament and then the Ice Lake. One of them said he saw the Ice Lake chariot go into Liangji Valley and he hid on the side not daring to talk." Yi Mo got up suddenly and said shakily, "You're that old bitch of Ice Lake didn't go back to Ice Lake and went to Liangji Valley on the way?" At this moment, Yi Mo realized why he didn't find anyone coming back to Ice Lake. That old woman already had plans. Luckily he left Xiaoyun a necklace and some pills. Hopeful that old woman sought death herself. "Yes." Fu Wu said seriously, "I later asked those 2 and they led me to the place. I searched there for an entire day but I didn't find any way out. I really didn't get it. I trust those 2 wouldn't lie to me. But now I think I understand, there's probably some teleportation formation inside." Yi Mo fell silent. No wonder he couldn't find Mu Xiaoyun in the small world. She was taken away by that old woman of Ice Lake. She definitely did this for Xiaoyun's cultivation method. Yi Mo really wanted to go back to the small world and look at that valley, but he knew that it was impossible. Luo Ying came over and held Yi Mo's hand, saying, "Xiaoyun is lucky she'll be fine. There will be a day for reunion. You've been back to Earth already, it's not impossible for you to go small world, we'll think of a way when we go back." Yi Mo sighed and looked at Luo Ying, saying, "Thank you, Susu." Then, Yi Mo forcefully set aside Xiaoyun's things and then saluted with his fists to Fu Wu. "Brother Fu, thanks for bringing me this news. I'm staying at South Peace State, I'm here to do some things here. If you're willing you can come with me to South Peace State Mo Yu City to cultivate, the spirit Kai there is very abundant." Fu Wu saluted with his fists and smiled. "Thank you Brother Yi, but I like journeying around. The East Black State spirit Kai might not be as good as South Peace State, but I'm living quite happily here. If I'm tired of playing one day, perhaps I'll go find Brother Yi at South Peace State." Yi Mo was expecting this. Yi Mo was planning to give him some things, but now he changed his mind. Fu Wu reached nascent soul state in this time without joining any sect meant that he had his fortune. Perhaps he found a heritage ruin during his journeys. The group started drinking and conversing. "Good wine, this is really good." Someone in the Spirit Rest Tower suddenly walked over to Yi Mo's table and sniffed. Then he added, "Is this made with 10,000-year stalagmite marrow? Using this to make wine, too wasteful." This cultivator had messy hair and held a wine bottle. Clearly he loved drinking, but his power was disaster transformation state level 9. If it was some other time, he would invite this guy to drink, but he didn't have the mood. The messy-haired cultivator saw that the strongest on the table was only Jin Qianqing, cauldron filling state. Yi Mo and the female cultivator next to him was very young. He couldn't see Yi Mo's power level. Theoretically, he was a disaster transformation state Qian Bei and came to ask for a cup of wine. It should be fine. But these Wn Bei pretended they didn't know. This made him longing and annoyed. He admired the courage that they dared to take such wine to drink publicly. Just when he wanted to talk, A powerful force loomed over the spirit rest tower. 5 cultivators came in to where Yi Mo was. The disaster transformation state cultivator's face changed and saluted with his fists, so it's Shangqing sect leader Yu Jinan, great elder Yu Mian. The leading 2 were disaster transformation state peak stage. Hearing this, Yi Mo knew they were here for Chu Liang. They came quite quickly, it had only been half an hour. One long-faced cultivator heard this and said bleakly, Ran Fushi, you have nothing to do with the murder of elder Chu Liang, right? If not, you don't need to leave. Hearing this, Ran Fushi realized what was going on, but clearly he was no timid cultivator. He sneered, Changqing sect is so dominant. Chu Liang is a mere disaster transformation state primary stage cultivator, he's not worth my time. Don't overestimate yourself. Changqing sect is only an 8-star sect. It's only so-so to me. If you want to take a piss over me like that, it's not enough. The long-faced cultivator realized Ran Fushi was not involved, but his tone was too annoying. Just when he wanted to say something, the middle-aged man next to him stopped him and saluted with his fists. Since Brother Ran has nothing to do with this, then please go, our sect is going to carnage today. Ran Fushi realized, the sect was here for the people drinking the wine. He immediately pointed at Yi Mo and them in confusion. Sect leader Yu, is it because they're drinking wine made from 10,000-year stalagmite marrow, so you want to use an excuse to kill them? This excuse is too shitty. Sect leader Yu heard this and said coldly, if Brother Ran wants to intervene, we will take it. Then he looked over at Yi Mo's table. If Ran Fixie didn't say it, he really wouldn't know the wine was made from 10,000-year stalagmite wine. Ran Fushi looked at Yi Mo and them and sat on the side. I'm just drinking my wine at this spirit rest tower. What you want to do has nothing to do with. He knew that he was not yet a match for the Changqing sect. He was pitying the bottle of wine on Yi Mo's table. The long-haired cultivator walked up to Yi Mo and them, saying coldly, a few insects dare to ambush my Changqing sect elder, you're asking to die. Yi Mo was in a bad mood and these few cultivators dared to annoy him. He yelled, piss off. The long-hair cultivator couldn't take it and grabbed at Yi Mo. But his hand stopped mid-air halfway. Before he could look surprised, a cultivation essence giant hand covered his body already. Truth realization. The long-haired cultivator said this and was crushed to nothing by Yi Mo's cultivation essence giant hand. Seeing Yi Mo kill a disaster transformation state peak stage elder in one move, everyone was shook. The sect leader instantly realized that they were starting trouble with a truth realization state cultivator. Cold sweat dripped down from his face. Ran Fushi looked dazedly at Yi Mo. He finally realized why he dared to take out that wine and drink. He was a truth realization state cultivator. There weren't many truth realization states in the entire East Black state. Yet he was enticed by the wine and dared to ask for wine from truth realization state. He wasn't afraid of Changqing sect, as he knew even if they ganged up on him, he could run away. But how could he run from truth realization state? Qian Bei, WN Bei Changqing sect leader Yu Jin. Greet Qian Bei, please forgive me for offending. Qian Bei, sect leader said shakily. Yuan Jian wouldn't expect to randomly meet a truth realization state in this small city. East Black state was a little stronger than North Far state, that was it. Changqing sect was first grade sect and the death of a disaster transformation state elder was huge, so all of them came out, but instead, they encountered a truth realization state cultivator. Yuan Jian wouldn't expect to randomly meet a truth realization state in this small city. East Black state was a little stronger than North Far state, that was it. Changqing sect was first grade sect and the death of a disaster transformation state elder was huge, so all of them came out, but instead, they encountered a truth realization state cultivator. Piss off. Yi Mo really didn't have the mood to kill anymore. Changqing sect's power was too powerful to East Black state. They were used to being cocky. No matter how many he killed, the sect would still be like this. If this was South Peace state, would an 8-star sect dare to be this cocky? This was the same as the 9-star sects in South Peace state. Hearing this, Yuan Jin almost knelt down. He quickly bowed and retreated. Yuan Jin's face looked bad and he said to the other 3, go back to the sect immediately and find Meng Qianbei and Huang Qianbei. Hearing this, they knew the sect leader wasn't going to settle with this, so they left. Ran Fushi knew that truth realization state wasn't someone he could mess with, so he quickly went up and saluted with his fists. Bei Ran Fushi didn't know it was truth realization state. Chen Bei, please forgive me for my offense. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to drink with him, but he felt this person was good, so he poured out some wine. You can have this. Ran Fushi was dazed. He didn't expect would give him some. He wanted to reject, but it was too enticing to him. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to chat. He got up and said, let's go and finish the things and go back to South Peace State. Ran Fushi just realized that this Chen Bei came from South Peace State. Yi Chen Bei, will you be passing by here when you leave? If you do, I will wait for you and Sister Luo Ying here. Jin Qianqing felt Yi Mo had personal matters to deal with. It wasn't good for her to follow them everywhere. The Xin brothers also realized this. Xin Yi quickly said, Sister Jin is right. If Yi Chen Bei is busy, we can wait here. Only Jie Yokue was too naive and didn't want to stay here. Yi Mo knew what they meant and waved his hand. Let's go together. I'm just going to visit an old place. Seeing this, Fu Wu bid farewell. Blue Moon dashed towards Magical Herb Sect. It didn't fly very fast. It's Hidden Sword Sect. Xin Shi pointed at a big sect. Yi Mo dazed and subconsciously asked, Hidden Sword Sect, that 8-star sect? Sect leader is Bian Xiangxin? Luo Ying smiled yes. East Black State has 3 8-star sects and 1 9-star sects. The other 8-star sect is Dongliang sect. They are the strongest and Hidden Sword sect is the weakest. Yes, now that Changqing sect lost 2 disaster transformation state cultivators to Yi Chen Bei, Hidden Sword sect might surpass them. Xin Shi nodded. This was Bian Fengta's sect. He said his fiancé got with martial brother Yaroshan and his father helped Yaroshan instead. He left the sect in fury and crossed the Heartless Sea. Bian Fengta was disaster transformation state level 1 now, but Yi Mo knew he hadn't forgotten about his fiancé Qi Yirong. He just didn't want to say it. Erta and Da Ting were both Yi Mo's friends, and now that he was at Erta's home, Yi Mo was going to check it no matter what. He said to Luo Ying, this is Erta's sect. Bian Xiangxin is Erta's father. I'm going to see and tell him he's fine. Blue Moon landed on the outskirts of the sect. As an 8-star sect, its sect looked very grand, on par with South Peace State sects. The spirit Kai here was very dense. There was at least a top-grade spirit range below it. Chen Bei's, please hold up. A sect members stopped Yi Mo and them. Yi Mo saluted with his fists. I'm friends with Bian Fengta. I came here to visit sect leader Bian, please notify for me. The sect members heard this and didn't show much hospitality and studied them with a strange look instead. After a while, he said the sect leader now is sect leader Lei. The old sect leader has deceased. Martial brother Bian has left the sect for decades and isn't in the sect now. Hearing this, Yi Mo frowned. Bian Fengta's father was the sect leader and disaster transformation state level 8 power. He wasn't very old. He was far from the end of his life span. How could he suddenly die? What is it? A cold voice sounded as 2 female cultivator came out from the sect. The sect members quickly bowed. Disciple, greet Elder Ming Master Qi. These few people say they are martial brother Bian Fengta's friend. They came to visit the old sect leader and I was explaining things to them. Oh, Elder Ming studied them and eventually her eyes fell on Jin Qianqing and saluted with his fists. I believe since you guys are with Erta you would know where he is. Jin Qianqing didn't know, but Yi Mo said, yes, Erta is my friend, I know where he is. He's busy with cultivation and I happened to go past the sect so I came to visit. There was a sliver of shock that flashed really quickly in the other female cultivator's eyes. Elder Ming heard this and showed an expression of surprise and joy. So you guys are Erta's friends, please come in. In 1 month it will be the celebration of our young sect leader taking the sect leader position. You guys can participate. The Elder Ming said to the female cultivator next to her, Yirong, notify Elder and young sect leader to welcome Erta's friends. I'll take these friends to the guest hall first. Yirong subconsciously shivered and quickly said, yes, Elder. Yirong, you're about to be sect leader wife, don't always call me Elder, just call me Sister Ming. Elder Ming reproached. Yi Mo immediately realized that this female cultivator was Qi Yirong, but he felt this Qi Yirong wasn't a slutty woman. Thinking about this, Yi Mo said, this is probably goddess Qi Erta told me about. Then Yimo said to that Elder Ming, how about let Goddess Chi take us to the guest hall? With someone familiar here we can talk better. There was sliver of anger in her eyes, but she smiled. Okay, Irong, don't be rude to our important guests. If the guests are unhappy and leaves, the big elder won't be happy. Yes, Elder Chi. Chi Irong quickly said and didn't call her sister Ming. Elder Ming didn't seem to mind and nodded to Yimo and them before walking off. Chi Irong took them a few steps and stopped, saying desperately, quickly leave. Tell Erta I didn't betray him, tell him to never come back again. Things were indeed different to what Erta said. Yimo frowned. Erta is my friend, I don't know how his father died, I can't just leave like this. Why don't you listen? The big elder of the sect is. Chi Irong's words were interrupted by a laugh, a figure closed in extremely rapidly. Irong, why don't you take the distinguished guest to the guest hall? It's not good to treat guests like this. Then he raised his hand. Friends please, Erta's friends are the Hidden Sword sect's friends. Yimo felt things weren't right. This disaster transformation state level 6 seemed hospitable, but Yimo didn't feel welcomed at all. Thinking about what Chi Irong said, he hid his power. Chi Irong looked down and didn't talk, seeming as though she didn't dare to say anything. Chi Irong looked down and didn't talk, seeming as though she didn't dare to say anything. This disaster transformation state level 6 waved his hand to her and said, you can go, I'll hand here. Yimo felt things were getting more wrong. She was about to be sect leader wife and that Elder Ming yelled her around. Now, this elder didn't rep-sect her much as well. Before she could go, Yimo smiled. Chi Irong is having a good talk with us, let her stay and chat with her. The disaster transformation state level 6 didn't expect Yimo to say this. He was at a loss for words. He nodded and said, that's true, come in together then Irong. It was supposed to be guest hall, but Yimo's spirit sense scanned that the place they went to was only a distant far-off hall. There was a level 8 defense formation outside. It was subtle, but Yimo saw it immediately. Then, the disaster transformation state said, where is Erta now? I was really happy to hear Marshall Brothers' friends come here. A sharp voice sounded, interrupting the disaster transformation state cultivator. Elder Ming and a bald-headed truth realization state level 1 came in with this voice. Yimo didn't expect there to be truth realization state cultivator here. That truth realization state level 1 looked at him immediately. Yimo guessed that Elder Ming couldn't see his power, so she invited this truth realization state here. The sharp voice was Erta's martial brother Yaroshan. He was body condensation state primary stage, while Chi Irong was still only at hollow spirit state. Irong, why are you here too? The sharp voice cultivator said happily. Chi Irong got up and said quietly, I came in with Erta's friends. I have things to do with you later. Then the voice said to the truth realization state level 1 cultivator, Grand Elder, please sit first. The truth realization state nodded and said casually to Yimo, little friend, your stealth cultivation method is indeed powerful, I can't even see it. Yimo smiled and said nothing. He hid his power to see what this sect wanted. If this wasn't Erta's sect, he would just interrogate them. Seeing Yimo not answer, the truth realization state didn't mind and just went to the top and sat down. I'm Erta's martial brother Yaroshan, Erta's friends are my friends, what are your names? Yaroshan said. He pointed at the disaster transformation state level 6, this is my sect's elder Nan. Yimo got up and saluted with his fists, I'm Yimo. I was passing by Hidden Sword sect, but I didn't expect sect leader Bien to pass away so early. Erta doesn't know this news yet, if he does he would feel very bad. Yimo only introduced himself and not the others, but Yaroshan clearly didn't care anyways. Yaroshan's mood went gloomy. After Erta left the sect, Master had cultivation problems out of anger. In the end, sigh, how could Bien Xiangxin be angry? From what Erta said, his father wanted him to leave, he didn't seem angry or worried at all. Yaroshan sighed and barely collect himself. Brother Yi, where is Erta? The next month is when I take sect leader. This position belongs to martial brother Erta, but I can't find where he is. If he can come back, I would rather give this position to him. Yimo nodded. I know where Erta is indeed, he's at, don't say it, he wants Erta to come back so he can kill him and take the Hidden Sword sect heritage on him. Chi Irong suddenly interrupted. Yimo looked calmly at her, he was waiting for her to tell the truth. Irong, are you crazy? If Erta comes back, we can give the sect leader to him and then we can marry. Do you not want Erta to come back? He's my martial brother. The only bloodline of our sect. Yaroshan got up and said in confusion. Chi Irong sneered and ignored him. She turned to Yi Mo and said, Martial brother Yi, you're Erta's friend, so I'll call you martial brother. I can tell you for sure, since you came here today, you wouldn't be able to leave the sect regardless if you tell them where Erta is. They want Erta's life and the heritage he took. Yi Mo now realized why this truth realization state level 1 came here. They all wanted the heritage of the sect. But he didn't hear Erta talk about the hidden sword sect heritage. Did he hide this? The truth realization state scanned Chi Irong coldly and said, take her away. Yes. Elder Ming quickly bowed and was going to pull Chi Irong. Yaroshan looked desperate, but he didn't dare to talk. Chi Irong said again to Yi Mo, martial brother Yi, trust me, Erta must not come back. Tell Erta I'll be going first. Then she sneered to Yaroshan, Yaroshan, marry you? I, Chi Irong, never wanted to marry you. You and Ming Xiangtian killed sect leader Bian and you think no one knows? One day Erta will come back for revenge. She walked over to Elder Ming without the need for her to drag her. She had no intention to live anymore, but she knew suicide was impossible here. Since you know, then don't go, dying here is the same. The truth realization state level 1 grabbed with cultivation essence giant hand. Grand Elder, don't kill Irong, she won't say anything. Yaroshan called out desperately. The truth realization state glared coldly at Yaroshan. He shivered but didn't dare to say anything. Yi Mo didn't expect the inside story to be revealed this quickly. Bian Xiangxin was harmed by his disciple, the one whom he supported. Yaroshan clearly wasn't a good person to be able to harm his master. Chi Irong seemed to have a lot of things she wanted to say but didn't dare to. Eventually, she didn't have the opportunity to say it all. The cultivation essence giant hand dissipated halfway. Just when everyone thought the Grand Elder stopped due to Yaroshan's plea for mercy, there was extreme shock in the Grand Elder's eyes. Then, everyone saw another cultivation essence giant hand grab the cultivation essence giant hand like a little chicken and threw him into the middle of the hall. Truth realization state tertiary stage, domain great completion. The truth realization state couldn't even crawl up. Yi Mo casually sealed his power. Yi Mo would have killed this guy if he knew why Bian Xiangxin died. Everyone was scared, dumbfounded by Yi Mo's means. A truth realization state level 1 couldn't even resist and was thrown like a chicken. Not even a truth realization state tertiary stage should be able to do this. But to Yi Mo, truth realization state level 1 wasn't much stronger than an insect. Martial brother Yi, Qian Bei, Chi Irong looked excitedly at Yi Mo. Just when she thought she was going to die, the impossible happened. Yi Mo was this young, but he was a truth realization state tertiary stage master. Yi Mo nodded. Erta told me about you, but in his impression you didn't seem to be like this. Tell me more specific detail, no one dares to do anything to you here. Yes. Chi Irong nodded quickly in excitement. Chi Irong collected her thoughts and said the sect leader didn't know there was sect heritage. He had this sudden feeling and didn't tell anyone when he came out of solitary cultivation. He went to visit the shrine of the deceased ancestors of the sect. At this moment, he found Ming Xiangtian, who snuck in here. At that time this person was disaster transformation state level 9 power. Chi Irong collected her thoughts and said the sect leader didn't know there was sect heritage. He had this sudden feeling and didn't tell anyone when he came out of solitary cultivation. He went to visit the shrine of the deceased ancestors of the sect. At this moment, he found Ming Xiangtian, who snuck in here. At that time this person was disaster transformation state level 9 power. Truth realization state level 1. Ming Xiangtian heard this and his face changed. He finally realized he never found the heritage from Bian Xiangxin. At that time, Bian Xiangxin already noticed him. Chi Irong looked coldly at Ming Xiangtian, who couldn't move on the ground. Sect leader was very confused, as the sect leader of the sect had always been one from the Bian family. Why was an elder who wasn't of the Bian family at the shrine? The sect leader grew careful, and every time he went into solitary cultivation, he hid at the shrine. After some time, sect leader knew why. There was a top-grade cultivation method heritage in the sect. Ming Xiangtian's face went grew, he knew that things wouldn't end well today. Bian Fengta's friend was truth realization state tertiary stage. He really couldn't understand why a truth realization state tertiary stage would be so bored to be friends with a low-level cultivator. The sect leader was shook and furious. He didn't expect Xiong Mingtian was hiding this from him. He didn't know why the past sect leaders didn't know about this, and yet Ming Xiangshan knew. But the sect leader had made up his mind to kill Ming Xiangtian. There was contempt in Ming Xiangtian's eyes. This made Qi Yirong more furious. She said hatefully, but when the sect leader was prepared to kill Ming Xiangshan, he realized the sect wasn't the same sect as before. He had been focused on solitary cultivation and didn't notice this. What does that mean? Jie Yokue asked. Qi Yirong bowed to her and said sect leader found that Elder Li suddenly died in solitary cultivation. Elder Feng, who went out to travel, was also surrounded and killed. The Elder Hui died to his enemy. Elder Fang went missing when he went to the Heartless Sea. The sect leader Bian is too stupid. There had been so many dead and missing elders. Is he dumb? He only remembered them when he needed them. Jie Yokue said. Qi Yirong shook her head. It's not that the sect leader was dumb, but he trusted Ming Xiangtian too much. And he wanted to break through to disaster transformation state tertiary stage, so he was in solitary cultivation. How could he know what happened? If he didn't see Ming Xiangtian go to the sect shrine, he wouldn't even know about this. The remaining Elder Nan and Elder Ming were both on Ming Xiangtian's side. Qi Yirong's side, the sect leader didn't attack Ming Xiangshan and instead tried to find the hidden heritage. Luckily, he's a level 6 formation great master and had Bian family bloodline. Thus, he found the heritage first. Then, he realized why the sect leader had to be formation great master. If he didn't know formation, he wouldn't be able to find the heritage. Ming Xiangtian's face looked bad. He spent all of his time in cultivation. Why would he investigate formation? That's good. Jin Qianqing said and felt happy for the sect leader Bian. Qi Yirong nodded yes, but at this moment the sect leader realized he was already poisoned, and the person who poisoned him was his big disciple whom he trusted the most. Yaro Shan's eyes narrowed. Qi Yirong looked coldly at Yaro Shan. Every time sect leader comes out of solitary cultivation, he would sit in the quiet room for a few days. Yaro Shan took the responsibility of cleaning and burning incense there. He was only a nascent soul state cultivator, so he wasn't able to poison sect leader without him noticing. But he was told what to do by Ming Xiangshan. Yirong, this really has nothing to do with me. Elder Ming told me to help sect leader. I didn't know it was poison. Yaro Shan explained. You knew. Qi Yirong said and didn't explain. Sect leader had no one to help him at the time. He didn't tell Erta as he knew Erta wasn't mature at the time. If he told him, they would die faster, so the sect leader came to me. Yimo nodded and sighed. So you purposely showed Erta what happened between you and Yaro Shan? Yes, I was Erta's fiancé. If the sect leader had a choice, how could he tell me to leave Erta and be with Yaro Shan? Plus, Erta didn't do anything wrong at the time. Erta came to me in fury, but I could only harden my heart and ignore him. Then he went to the sect leader but was reproached by the sect leader saying he doesn't deserve me. Qi Yirong's tone went melancholic. Erta thought the sect leader thought he didn't have ambition, so he left the sect in fury. Sect leader breathed easy. He wanted Erta to go as far away as possible. He left a mark on Erta. I can feel it. If the sect leader didn't forbid me, I would have went out to find Erta already. Do you know when Erta came back? Yimo asked. Qi Yirong nodded yes. When he came back he was cauldron-filling state power and we were both very happy. But the sect leader wanted Erta to leave and not come back. So you asked Yaro Shan out and purposely let Erta see. In the end, Erta didn't come to the sect and left. Yimo asked. Qi Yirong bowed to Yimo Yi Qianbei. You're indeed very good friends with Erta. If you weren't, he wouldn't tell you this. Erta has sect leader's mark on him. When he reaches disaster transformation state, he would sense the mark. Yimo nodded. Then Erta should know the mark. Qi Yirong looked at Yimo with surprise and joy. Yi Qianbei, Erta is disaster transformation state. Yimo smiled. Yes, Erta improves rapidly. His indeed disaster transformation state. After this you can come with us to see him. But I'm Erta's friend, don't call me Chen Bei anymore. Just call me Martial Brother. Yes, Martial Brother Yi. Chi Irong resisted the excitement in her heart. She thought she would never be able to see Erta again. She couldn't help asking Martial Brother Yi, where is Martial Brother Erta? Yi Mo nodded his in South Peace State. I came to East Black State to do some things. After I'm done, I'm going back to South Peace State. As for Hidden Sword Sect, just find someone to manage it. Then, Yi Mo thought about the heritage. Since it was Erta's, he was planning to take it to him. Yi Mo asked, where is the heritage now? Erta isn't here, can I bring it to him? Chi Irong knew that she wouldn't be able to stop it if a Chen Bei like this wanted Erta's heritage, so she said not long after Erta left, Ming Xiangtian found the heritage place and realized it was found by the sect leader. He also realized that his things were exposed. Just when Ming Xiangtian was about to attack, the sect leader killed himself. The sect leader told me to find a time to leave the sect and find Erta. The sect leader didn't tell me, but I knew the sect leader had already given the heritage to Erta, but Erta doesn't know. Then why haven't you left? Jie Yokue asked. Jin Qianqing replied for her, because she's been kept in custody here. Didn't you see? That elder Ming followed her everywhere. Chi Irong nodded yes, because if I'm here Erta would come back. If I leave, Ming Xiangtian wouldn't be able to find him again. Ming Xiangtian's face was pale and he didn't say anything. He thought that at Truth Realization State Level 1 he was at the peak other than the few Truth Realization States in East Black State. But now he realized he was nothing to a real master. Under Yi Mo's domain, Ming Xiangtian and them were all killed. Yaro Shan truly loved Chi Irong and she couldn't do it, so she killed him. There were not a single disaster transformation state cultivator left in the sect. Chi Irong gave the sect leader position to a cauldron-filling state tertiary stage cultivator. One day later, they all left the sect. Chi Irong came with them. At this moment, at the previous site of Magical Herb Sect, Yi Mo and Luo Ying stood here silently. The sect doors had turned into barren wasteland. There were some level 1 and level 2 spirit herbs scattered around everywhere. They sprouted from seeds of the herb garden. At this moment, at the previous site of Magical Herb Sect, Yi Mo and Luo Ying stood here silently. The sect doors had turned into barren wasteland. There were some level 1 and level 2 spirit herbs scattered around everywhere. They sprouted from seeds of the herb garden. Luo Ying held Yi Mo's hand and walked into the ruins. Seeing where they used to live, Luo Ying's eyes went red. This was not only the place she and Yi Mo stayed at, but also where she lived since she had memory. Yi Mo, this is where I concocted pills, this is where you cultivated. Even though this place was in ruins, Luo Ying remembered very clearly. Susu. Yi Mo knew Luo Ying felt very sad and comforted. Yi Mo said. What is it? Luo Ying looked at Yi Mo in confusion. Yi Mo pointed at the ruins and said someone set up restriction here, meaning that if we go in, people would immediately know. Who would set up restriction at this ruin? Luo Ying asked in confusion. The sect had no spirit kai nor spirit herbs. Those level 1 and level 2 spirit herbs were worthless and could be found everywhere. I don't believe it would be anyone else but the West Flow sect. Yi Mo said heavily. Luo Ying fell silent. The sect was annihilated due to her. Now the West Flow sect set up a restriction here to wait for her or Yi Mo to come back. Yi Mo grabbed her hand. Susu, don't feel guilty. The sect was annihilated not due to you, you were just an excuse. Luo Ying looked at him in confusion. Yi Mo didn't hide it from her. I told you, when I killed Jing Yuzhen at the Truthful Palace, there was something I didn't tell you. The reason his father wanted to annihilate Magical Herb Sect was for a herb cauldron. Herb cauldron? Luo Ying asked in confusion. Yi Mo nodded. That's right, but after they annihilated our Magical Herb Sect they didn't find it. They only found a lid. I knew this from Jing Yuzhen, he wouldn't dare to lie to me before his death. Then they set up this restriction for the herb cauldron? Luo Ying asked. Yi Mo said heavily, if I'm not wrong, West Flow sect has such intention, but of course the main point for this restriction is to wait for me or you to come back, especially you. You were the greatest prodigy of the sect at the time, it would most likely be you who took the herb cauldron. Of course, even if it isn't on you, you would still fall into their hands. So this means if we touch the restriction now, the West Flow sect people would come? Luo Ying asked Yi Mo. Theoretically yes, but after all these years I'm not if they would come. We don't need to wait here, we'll go there now. Yi Mo looked at the direction of the West Flow sect with killing intent. There was still a Jing Kuan waiting to be killed. Yi Mo had never been there, but the Shin brothers knew where it was. Blue Moon arrived there in only half an hour. As a 5-star sect, Yi Mo thought the West Flow sect would be much better than Magical Herb sect, but when they came here, they realized it wasn't much better. It was a ruin too, they've been annihilated for many years. Yi Mo felt that it was related to that herb cauldron. If it really was, just what sort of herb cauldron was it? Let's go. Luo Ying pulled Yi Mo. She suddenly hated staying here, she wanted to go back to Mo Yu City. Jiao City, the largest cultivation city of East Black State, the teleportation formation to South Peace State was here. In a spirit rest tower, 4 truth realization state states, 3 famous formation Grand Master and 7 disaster transformation state cultivators were waiting here. This place gathered the strongest power of the East Black State. There wouldn't be more than 20 truth realization state cultivators in East Black State altogether. Most of them were hidden cultivators, they didn't come out into the world. The leading truth realization state was Mang High Sect leader, truth realization state level 7 Kai Pei. As the top-level cultivator of East Black State, he usually didn't even have the time to come out, but he waited at this spirit rest tower for nearly a month. He was discussing cultivation experience and formation with the others. One body condensation state cultivator carefully walked to the door and bowed to everyone before saying to the slightly chubby-faced middle-aged man sitting at the top, Kai Qian Bei, Changqing sect leader Yu Jinan asks to see you. Kai Pei nodded. Let him come in. Not long after the body condensation state left, Yu Jinan came in and saluted with his fists. Changqing sect Yu Jinan greet sect leader Kai, Elder Ji, Shi Qianbei, He Qianbei and friends. Yu Jinan was disaster transformation state peak stage and 8-star sect leader. Other than the truth realization states, the other people returned the gesture. Kai Pei nodded. Is there something important for sect leader Yu to come see me in such a rush? Yes. Please helped us sect leader Kai. Yu Jinan seemed extremely wronged. What happened? A truth realization state level 4 next to Kai Pei asked in confusion. Changqing sect was one of the only 3 8-star sects here. Who would dare to do anything to them other than the 9-star sect Dongliang sect? Kai Pei frowned and had a bad feeling. Yu Jinan didn't see Kai Pei's face and said quickly, an unseen truth realization state killed our sect members and killed our disaster transformation state level 3 elder Chu Liang without reason. I went with Big Elder Yu Mian to reason, but this truth realization state killed Big Elder without saying anything. Yu Jinan's face sunk and said, this person doesn't take our East Black State disaster transformation state cultivators seriously and kills without reason. Yu Jinan suddenly stopped as he felt the atmosphere wasn't right. Theoretically someone should be helping him, and then the truth realization state cultivators would get angry and sect leader Kai would order a warrant for that truth realization state cultivator. However, the room fell silent instead. The truth realization states looked at each other, and a skinny truth realization state level 5 looked at Yu Jinan coldly and asked, how old is that cultivator? Where did he come from? Is he from East Black State? Yu Jinan's heart shook. He felt things weren't right, but he didn't dare to not reply. He Qianbei, that truth realization state definitely isn't from East Black State. I heard he came from Heartless Sea and is extremely young. Do you know what his name is? The skinny truth realization state said with a colder tone. Yu Jinan felt more insecure. He didn't know what he said wrong and replied carefully. He said he's called Yi Mo. Saying that, Yu Jinan immediately felt things weren't right. The truth realization states looked at him with even colder eyes. The other disaster transformation state cultivators and formation Grand Master looked at him with a sliver of pity. Kai Pei sneered and couldn't even be bothered talking. The skinny truth realization state sneered at Yu Jinan. You brought this on yourself. Your Changqing sect has always been very dominant, and I was thinking this day would occur. You want sect leader Kai to help you. I think you should wipe your neck clean. Yu Jinan fell into an ice cave hearing this. He didn't know where he was wrong. That truth realization state was powerful, but Kai Pei was the number one person in East Black State. How could he be so scared? Changqing sect was an East Black State sect. Why was it like this? Yu Jinan finally realized that Yi Mo was no ordinary person. He didn't know who exactly Yi Mo was, but he knew if he didn't make remedies now Changqing sect would be over. Feeling the pressure from the truth realization states, Yu Jinan knelt down. He wanted to slap himself a few hundred times. He didn't even find out who Yi Mo was and came here to seek death. Feeling the pressure from the truth realization states, Yu Jinan knelt down. He wanted to slap himself a few hundred times. He didn't even find out who Yi Mo was and came here to seek death. The skinny truth realization state looked coldly at Yu Jinan and said coldly, "Are you regretting not finding out Yi Qianbei's identity first?" Hearing this, Yu Jinan almost fell. Even truth realization state level 5 Hitsume called that young cultivator Qianbei. Just who was he? He was crazy to take on someone like that for a dead Chu Liang. He Qianbei, WN Yu Jinan didn't want to get revenge from Yi Mo at all. He just wanted to go back to the sect and go into solitary cultivation and not come out until he reached truth realization state. Before truth realization state, he was worse than an insect in front of them. This feeling was intolerable for him, a cultivator who had been at the top for so long. The skinny cultivator said Yi Qianbei came to East Black State to set up interstate teleportation formation. You offended Yi Qianbei, no one can save you. Then He Wumei shot out a dark ray into Yu Jinan's chest. Yu Jinan couldn't move immediately. He Wumei turned back to a disaster transformation state level 7 and said Shang Fei lock him up first and wait for Yi Qianbei's decision. Yes. A cultivator came up and took Yu Jinan away immediately. Yu Jinan knew Shang Fei, but even if he wasn't sealed he didn't dare to do anything. He breathed easy after leaving the room. He really couldn't take that pressure inside. Shang Fei took Yu Jinan to a room and saluted with his fists. Sorry sect leader you can only stay here and wait for Yi Qianbei. Yu Jinan took out a jade bottle to Shang Fei. Brother Shang, on the account we know each other, can you tell me who that Yi Qianbei is? Looking at the jade bottle, Shang Fei couldn't resist but take it and say, sect leader I only know some simple things. The teleportation formation from East Black State to South Peace State is seriously damaged. That Yi Qianbei is a level 9 formation grandmaster coming to repair it. Yu Jinan dazed. A level 9 formation grandmaster was indeed very important, but not to the degree for He Wumei to call him Qianbei. Shang Fei sighed seeing that Yu Jinan hadn't realized things. Sect leader your sect is 8-star sect, but Yi Qianbei can probably completely stamp clean your sect in less than 5 minutes. The East Black State teleportation formation is damaged, but it can still teleport Jade Slip. 9-star sect Heaven Demon sect's sect leader Shi Luan are friends with Kai Qianbei. This time 11 Luan Qianbei went to North Far State. Before she went, she sent a jade slip to sect leader Kai and it introduced Yi Qianbei's character and power. Shang Fei shook his head. Sect leader if you knew that the South Peace State disaster was saved by Yi Qianbei by himself, if you knew 2 9-star sects in South Peace State were easily annihilated by Yi Qianbei, if you knew the 10-star power of South Peace State Pill City sent 11 Truth Realization State cultivators to attack Yi Qianbei and was killed clean by Yi Qianbei, and yet Pill City didn't even have the courage to get revenge, you wouldn't look for trouble with Yi Qianbei. Yu Jinan was completely dazed. He didn't expect the young cultivator he wanted to look for trouble with was this power. This was completely beyond Truth Realization State cultivator. No wonder He Wumei called this person Qianbei. Before Shang Fei left he said Kai Qianbei and them are here waiting for Yi Qianbei. They've been waiting for a month or so. Yu Jinan completely collapsed. He knew that with one word of Yi Qianbei, he would be completely over and so would his sect. The Spirit Rest Tower's happy atmosphere was made sullen by Yu Jinan. Kai Pei was annoyed. This Yu Jinan was an unlucky charm. Shi Luan was very close to him. When they first set up the teleportation formation, they too regretted meeting so late. Her jade slip was very detailed and he only told the others some basic things. Yi Mo could be said to be the number 1 person in South Peace State now. Level 9 formation grandmaster, level 9 Pill King, and he annihilated 1,000-kilometer spirit-devouring bug by himself, killing a few 100 million sand soul beasts. He killed 11 truth realization states, including a truth realization state level 9 with low-grade immortal artifact. Fighting against someone like that is asking for death. Just when Kai Pei was annoyed, the body condensation state reported again, saying desperately, Kai Qianbei, Yi Qianbei is at the teleportation formation studying the teleportation formation, quickly go. Kai Pei rushed out of the spirit rest tower already. The rest of the cultivators followed. They all wanted to see what sort of person this Yi Qianbei was. Yi Mo knew that Luo Ying wanted to go back, but Yi Mo wasn't going to fly across the Heartless Sea. He just needed to repair the teleportation formation and go back through there. They just arrived for a while and Kai Pei brought everyone over. East Black State Kai Pei greet Grand Master Yi. Kai Pei wanted to call Yi Mo Qianbei, but Yi Mo was much younger than him and only a level higher than him in cultivation level. He knew he would probably be instantly killed by Yi Mo, but he was too embarrassed to call Yi Mo Qianbei. Yi Mo heard of Kai Pei. Luanxi told him it was her good friend. Even if he wasn't Luanxi's friend, Yi Mo would give some face to him for being East Black State Truth Realization State, so he politely greeted everyone, including the Disaster Transformation State level formation Grandmasters. After that greeting, they realized sometimes stories weren't true. Luanxi said Yi Mo was very powerful and they must not offend Yi Mo. This made them think Yi Mo was a cold master. But Yi Mo treated Kai Pei with the same attitude he treated body condensation states. Kai Pei breathed easy and then spoke about Yu Jinan. Without hesitation, he knew it was Yu Jinan's wrong. Chu Liang he knew was very lustful. Yi Mo's wife was an extreme beauty in this world. Chu Liang wasn't going to let her go after seeing her. Hearing this, Yi Mo's face immediately sunk. He just realized that he let Yu Jinan, but this guy instead wanted to find people to kill him. Seeing this, Kai Pei immediately realized what to do without the need for Yi Mo to say anything. He said to the Truth Realization State Level 2 behind him, Sect Leader Yu has made a huge mistake, he must die, the Changqing sect can change elders. Yes, Sect Leader. The Truth Realization State turned to leave. Yi Mo didn't expect Kai Pei to be this decisive. Yi Mo wasn't going to let go someone like that. Yi Qianbei, how should we set up this formation? Please tell us. We can do the work. This was the only level 9 formation Grand Master of East Black State. Yi Mo nodded. I'll set up this formation. The Spirit Kai here is too bad, the formation materials are too low quality too, I will switch it all. Then Yi Mo said to Luo Ying Susu, go with Chenqing and them and stay at the Spirit Rest Tower for a few days. I need about 5 to 6 days for this formation. Yi Mo was level 1 Immortal Formation Master, he had no problems for this teleportation formation and he had plenty of materials in his storage ring. He was willing to do this for East Black State. He wanted that after he set up the teleportation formation, any cultivator could use it to get to South Peace State and not be limited like before. Luo Ying nodded. Seeing Yi Mo take out an extreme-grade spirit range and put into the formation, even Kai Pei was dazed. Even his sect didn't have it and yet easily took one out to set up the teleportation formation. This wasn't just wealthy. The few formation grandmasters saw Yi Mo make formation flags on the spot and knew Yi Mo wasn't repairing formation, he was setting up a completely new teleportation formation. 5 days later, Yi Mo finished setting up the teleportation formation. He didn't leave immediately and asked Kai Pei to help him find Kai Wanqing. 5 days later, Yi Mo finished setting up the teleportation formation. He didn't leave immediately and asked Kai Pei to help him find Kai Wanqing. A month later, Yi Mo didn't get any news of her. He was disappointed and left East Black State with Luo Ying and them. Returning to South Peace State, Jin Chenqing also bid farewell and left. The blue moon came to Moyu City. Both Shin brothers and Qi Yirong were astounded by the dense spirit Kai in Moyu City. The Shin brothers rejoiced at their decision. For someone who stayed at the sea corner for a few decades, any place in South Peace State would make them very happy, much less Moyu City. They could imagine how rapid they would be cultivating here. Yimo thought Erta would ignore Chi Irong, but what they didn't expect was that he saw her and immediately rushed over, grabbing her hand. Irta, Chi Irong was excited seeing him after a few decades again and didn't know what to say. Did something happen to my dad? Bien Fengta had a bad feeling and said in a shaky tone. Chi Irong's eyes went red and she said in surprise, "You already know?" Bien Fengta took out a jade disc and nodded. "After I reached disaster transformation state, I found this heritage disc. I know everything." "Sorry, Irong, I shouldn't misunderstood you." They knew the two had a lot to talk, so they left. After all the huge events, South Peace State completely calmed down, and so were the 3 other states in Luoyu continent. Yimo repaired the few teleportation formations and set up the teleportation formation from Peihai City to Moyu City, and then went into solitary cultivation. The benefits of corner soul weed to his spirit sense was unimaginable. Yimo got a lot of corner soul weed, but he used them up quick and needed to leave some for the people with him. Yimo didn't use time formation disc to cultivate spirit sense. He didn't have much immortal crystals left. 3 years later, Yimo's spirit sense doubled. His spirit sense improved like crazy using corner soul weed and pure spirit nourishing well. If he went to annihilate those spirit-devouring bugs, he wouldn't almost collapse in exhaustion. Yimo had reached level 5 of 5-element mobility. He could use 2 purple suns for Heaven Flame 9 suns now. The only pity was that he didn't have a better spirit sense cultivation method. His purple eye soul sever was too low. If he had better spirit sense cultivation method, Yimo believed he would be able to reach Heaven Flame 9 suns level 3. Su Jingwen finished her divine damnation and reached cauldron filling state. Luo Ying reached body condensation state level 7, Tang Beiwei reached hollow spirit state level 4, and even Xu Ping and Shatai were nascent soul state. Only Yimo didn't dare to cultivate. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to control his power and ascended early. What annoyed Yimo was that when he cultivated, his cultivation wasn't fast when he used time formation disc and immortal crystals. But when he cultivated spirit sense, in a few short years he reached truth realization state level 8 peak. If he used immortal crystals, he would have reached truth realization state level 9 in a short time already. Yimo knew he couldn't keep waiting. If he kept waiting, he might not have a chance to go back to the small world. Knowing that Mu Xiaoyun went missing at Liangji Valley in the small world, Yimo wanted to go down already. Now that Moyu City was going in the right tracks and everyone was cultivating fast, if he still didn't go to the small world, people would be immortal ascending. He wanted to immortal ascend first. Moyu City was the safest place in South Peace State. No one dared to mess with them. This was a place countless people respected, so Yimo felt very safe leaving everyone here. From Jin Jinlin's jade slip, he knew that Immortal Realm was countless times bigger than Luoyu continent. The 33 heavens of Immortal Realm, if each heaven was an ocean, Luoyu continent wouldn't even splash a wave up if thrown inside. At Moyu City Lake, Yimo, Luo Ying, Ning Qingxue, Su Jingwen, Song Yangzhu and them were sitting together. They knew Yimo was going to the small world, but no one stopped him. No one felt unhappy too. Yimo would do this for any one of them. If Yimo wasn't like this, how could they fall in love with him? "How are you planning to go?" Ning Qingxue bit her lips. She was body condensation state level 4 and many times she wanted to give birth to a child for Yimo, but seeing everyone cultivating and out of fear she would fall behind too much, she delayed this plan to after immortal ascension. Yimo was planning to go Nangong village first. That place was too mysterious. It was where Chu Jiuyu lived too. Chu Jiuyu immortal ascended in the small world, perhaps he could find something there. If not, he would forcefully tear open the voice. But Yimo didn't dare to say this. He was afraid they would go there if he went for too long. Nangong village was not a good place. He warned everyone in Moyu City to never go there unless reaching truth realization state peak stage. "I'm planning to tear open the void. I can do that with my power now. I reached God state body refinement there, so there's no danger. Even if I can't find the small world, I can come back," Yimo said casually. "Then you need to come back earlier," Su Jingwen said. Yimo nodded. "No matter if I find Xiaoyun or not, I will try to come back as early as possible. If Xiaoyun is there too, we'll be all united." Then, Yimo said heavily. There's no direction in the void, so I don't know if I will go directly to the small world. So, I need to tell you guys some things. The group focused, seeing that Yimo's tone was serious. No matter how long cultivators live in the cultivation realm, it's at most about 10,000 years. Those older than that are very rare. We will be together forever, so we can only ascend to immortal realm. I want us to be able to be together forever in the immortal realm. Then, we can sit in my magic artifact and roam the 33 heavens, so, ascending to the immortal realm is our first fighting step. If we ascend to immortal realm, would we be able to live forever and be together forever? Song Yangzhu's eyes were teary. She was the weakest, she was scared she would fall behind too much and stay here alone. She couldn't resist being alone. Yimo shook his head. I don't know. I only know immortals' lifespan is countless times that of cultivation realm cultivators. I don't know if it's eternal lifespan, but I have a feeling that even in the immortal realm, you probably can't attain eternal life. He knew what Song Yangzhu thought. She worked hard, but due to spirit root limitations, she was the weakest. Yimo got up and pulled her hand. No matter what, I'll be satisfied that we can stay together in the immortal realm for countless years. Yangzhu, don't worry. Although your spirit root isn't as good as Jingwen and Qingxue and them, but you can immortal ascension too, trust me. Song Yangzhu nodded. Seeing them all a little reluctant to let him go, Yimo said again, I'm certain I can come back, but there's no direction in the void. I don't know how long it will be till I come back. So before I leave, I need to tell you what I know about the immortal realm so we can all meet up after immortal ascension. The immortal realm is different to Luoyu continent. If we don't make arrangements, we'll never find each other. Yimo said seriously. So before I leave, I need to tell you what I know about the immortal realm so we can all meet up after immortal ascension. The immortal realm is different to Luoyu continent. If we don't make arrangements, we'll never find each other. Yimo said seriously. Tell us, after you leave I will tell this to Yimo and Beiwei and them. Luo Ying nodded. Yimo said, according to what I know, there are 33 heavens in the immortal realm. There are division between them, but I don't know specifically. I think the divisions are either based on power or immortal spirit Kai density. Yuheng Heaven Lord Lu Zhengquan has enmity with me, so we must not go there. We can't even say we're from Luoyu continent, just say we're from Shenqiong cultivation realm. Yimo was worried about Lu Zhengquan the most. Yimo didn't know how powerful this guy was, but Jin Jinlin said he was extremely powerful. Shenqiong cultivation realm was the cultivation realm of Meng Qi. It could avoid some trouble. Then where should we meet? Su Jingwen asked. Yimo said, when we first immortal ascend, we're took weak, we wouldn't be able to cross heavens. We wouldn't be able to afford the teleportation formation fees. I'm thinking we can cultivate ourselves or join a sect. After we have enough power, we'll go meet up in Gonghua Heaven. Jin Jinlin told his descendants to go there. It must be very far from the Yuheng Heaven and a rather safe place. Gonghua Heaven? Is it really far from Yuheng Heaven? Song Yangzhu asked. Yimo nodded. Theoretically yes, I got this news from Jin Chenqing's ancestor. She was an immortal formation master and was thrown onto Luoyu to set up formation, and he was killed by Lu Zhengquan. He definitely would want his descendants to be safe from Lu Zhengquan, so he probably chose a reliable place. If you get to the immortal realm and find it's very hard to get to Gonghua Heaven, or it's not safe to go, we don't have to meet there. All in all, cultivation and safety matters first. So what if we wait tens of thousands of years? As long as we have enough power, we will meet again. Yimo took out communication beads and gave everyone one, and the extras to Luoyu. These are communication beads I made with extreme flame star gold. You can use it, contact each other and sense each other on Luoyu. I don't know how far we will be in the immortal realm, but this is better than nothing. Seeing them not talk, Yimo felt sad too. Sometimes, he really wanted to just grow old with them at Moyu City, but he kept feeling this calling, and that was he must keep cultivating. He must stand at the highest point. He knew that even if he didn't cultivate, staying at Moyu City will result him reaching truth realization state peak stage sooner or later. Other than this, he had a sense of desperation. Even if he stayed at Luoyu and didn't grow in power, who knows if Lu Zhengquan can send other people down. Casting these thoughts aside, Yimo said again, no matter how long it takes for me to come back, if you need to immortal ascend then do it immediately. I feel that even when I don't cultivate my power is increasing, I afraid I'll ascend before coming back to Moyu City. As for the cultivation methods I gave you guys, don't worry about the latter parts. They came from 3 birth chant, the latter parts will be born itself. So you must not reveal this cultivation method, tell Yimo and them. This wasn't the first time Yimo said this, everyone knew Yimo's cultivation method was very precious. It would have a different set of cultivation method based on the person's own learnings. Their current magics and techniques were gathered by Yimo, but in the immortal realm Yimo didn't even have his own. They would have to find their own. Yimo was about to leave Moyu City, so they just stopped cultivation and played together for a month. A month later, Yimo left Moyu City quietly. Nangong Village, Yimo came in here and no one was able to notice. Yimo was certain that there was a level 1 immortal formation here. Before he wouldn't be able to come in under the radar. From the outside, the Nangong Village didn't seem very big, but after coming in, he realized it was many times bigger than he had imagined. This was all because Chu Jiuyu set up formation here. It was very quiet inside and one could occasionally see a few disciples walking past. As soon as Yimo entered a defense formation in the backyard, a powerful spirit sense swept over. It stayed at where Yimo was for a long time before disappearing. Yimo was shook. He knew that Nangong Village was very powerful, but he didn't expect it was this powerful. That spirit sense was at least truth realization state level 9. Just what were they doing hiding all this power? Luckily he only entered the formation and didn't break it. If he broke it, that spirit sense would have found him already. He wasn't afraid of trouble, but he didn't want everyone to know Moyu City Lord snuck into Nangong Village. This damaged Moyu City's reputation. Yimo just wanted to find if there was some teleportation tunnel here. He knew the chances were slim, but he felt uncomfortable if he didn't try. Yimo was more curious after seeing how powerful this place was. After that spirit sense disappeared, Yimo was more careful in here. 15 minutes later, he found that the backyard was to the end. There were 3 doors and they were all blocked by restriction. The middle door was the largest and the ones on the 2 sides were smaller. Yimo couldn't scan his spirit sense in any of them, so he chose to go into the largest. Just when Yimo was about to move, a figure dashed over. Yimo quickly stopped himself. It was Yi Zifeng. Yi Zifeng's face was numb. He went into the left passage. Yimo immediately knew he must have some jade card to be able to enter so easily. What confused Yimo was that Yi Zifeng was only hollow spirit state when he last saw him, but in a few short years, he ace body condensation state level 2. Yimo changed his mind. He went into the left door. These restrictions were level 9, but it was nothing for an immortal formation master. After entering the door, the environment changed. It was a spirit herb garden. There were quite some level 7 and level 8 spirit herbs here. This was definitely considered top-grade spirit herb garden. Even though he left most of the spirit herbs at Moyu City, his Golden Page World Spirit Herb Garden was much higher level than this. At the border of the garden was a 9-curved hallway, reminding Yimo of the same hallway at Ice God Forbidden Grounds. Yi Zifeng had disappeared. Yimo followed the hallway and after a few hundred meters, a level 9 defense formation appeared before them. Yimo didn't go straight in. He had a feeling that no matter how careful he was, he would be found. Yimo's purple eye soul sever was at level 6 now. His spirit sense blades were invisible and he gathered his own spirit sense spike. Spirit sense spike and soul spike was different. The soul spike attacked spirit sense while the spirit sense spike was not for attack. It was for dealing with formation and restrictions that spirit sense couldn't scan in. Yimo's purple eye soul sever was at level 6 now. His spirit sense blades were invisible and he gathered his own spirit sense spike. Spirit sense spike and soul spike was different. The soul spike attacked spirit sense while the spirit sense spike was not for attack. It was for dealing with formation and restrictions that spirit sense couldn't scan in. Before, he could use spirit sense blades for that too, but there was 2 drawbacks. One was that it used too much spirit sense and second it caused too much commotion. If it was a formation someone was guarding, it would be easily noticed. Spirit Sense Spike didn't have this limitation. Of course, in order to stay stealthed when piercing formation with Spirit Sense Spike, his own spirit sense had to be very powerful, and he also need to be experienced in formation. At this moment, Yimo's Spirit Sense Spike easily penetrated this level 9 formation and went inside the room. When Yimo came inside expressionlessly, Yimo guessed this wasn't a place he cultivated at. Now, his spirit sense showed that he was right. This room was simple. It was only a stone room that was 20 square meters. There was nothing else in the room but a cushion seat. A male cultivator sat on the cushion. His head was very big but his body was small. Yi Zifeng stood before the man and looked very respectful. The male cultivator studied Yi Zifeng for a long while before nodding happily. Not bad, your cultivation speed has been fast recently. I hope you can become the number 1 person of the Nangong family, even Luo Yu continent number 1. Yi Zifeng bowed respectfully. Nangong Zifeng's life was saved, master. Zifeng would never disappoint master nor the Nangong family. Hearing this, Yimo dazed. Yi Zifeng even changed his last name to Nangong. If Yi Beirong heard this, he might get crazy of anger. The big-headed cultivator nodded very well. You're indeed the supporting pillar talent of our family. Nangong Xiaodai is the most prominent family member. She has nourishing wood spirit root. You need to treat her well. Without her, you wouldn't be at where you are today. Yimo heard this and sighed. Nourishing wood element is like Su Jingwen's hidden spirit root. Before activation, one couldn't cultivate, but after activation, the cultivation speed would be extremely fast. Nourishing wood spirit root was very rare. Any nourishing spirit root of the 5 elements were very rare. Its cultivation speed wasn't as good as hidden spirit root but was on par with pure spirit root. It also had an important attribute. It could help someone who doesn't have spirit root nurture a spirit root. Of course, this was unconditional. The person without spirit root must eat the top-grade spirit item of the 5 elements. If he ate a water element spirit item, he would need a water-nourishing spirit root. So this was extremely hard. Nangong Xiaodai was wood-nourishing spirit root. The reason Yi Zifeng could cultivate so fast without spirit root was clearly because he consumed top-grade wood element spirit item. He finally understood why Yi Zifeng didn't leave Nangong Xiaodai. Yimo sighed. He knew that the spirit root nurtured with nourishing wood spirit root was not only good but suitable for possession. Did this big-headed guy want to take over Yi Zifeng's body? Otherwise, why would he go help someone like Yi Zifeng? Why did he use Nangong Xiaodai and even top-grade wood element spirit item? Yimo's spirit sense carefully searched this cultivator. He immediately noticed that he almost didn't have a body. He was probably poisoned by a very powerful poison. After a while, his body would completely disappear. This guy was indeed preparing Yi Zifeng for possession. Yimo sighed. Although he knew the truth of things, he didn't plan to intervene. He didn't kill Yi Zifeng on Yi Ling's account, but he wasn't going to help Yi Zifeng. He abandoned Cheng Nana and undermined her innocence and brought him into it as well. Yimo didn't know why Yi Zifeng became such a person, but he could guess that he probably suffered a lot trying to survive in South Peace State alone. But to Yimo, that wasn't an excuse at all. No matter how hard it was, he was an adult. There were many people on Luo Yu who couldn't cultivate. Could he have had life harder than when he was young? He had no parents and had to find food everywhere. When he was taken by the old Daoist of magical herb sect, he had gone through his hardest moments. Yes, master, Dai Dai is my life. Even if I die, I wouldn't let her get injured. Yi Zifeng said with great certainty. The big-headed cultivator nodded. Very well, very well. The big-headed cultivator fell silent. After a while, he opened his eyes and said, Zifeng, come here the middle of next month. I have a small dimension magic artifact I'm planning to give you. Sigh, I'm probably about to ascend to the immortal realm. It's a waste to take it to the immortal realm, Emo sneered. The middle of next month was the Ghost Festival. Essence Spirit was loose and it was the perfect time for possession. The big-headed cultivator was planning to wait a while, but perhaps seeing Yi Zifeng progress too fast, he didn't dare to keep waiting. His body was about to die and his essence spirit wasn't very stable. If Yi Zifeng cultivated a little longer, he wouldn't be able to possess him. Yi Zifeng looked joyful and said, "Zifeng, thank master." The big-headed cultivator waved his hand. "Zifeng, don't be so polite with master. I can even give Xiaodai to you, others is nothing. Just remember you are the Nangong family member and you're Nangong Fei's disciple. Otherwise, even if you ascend to the immortal realm, I won't let you go." "Yes, Zifeng will remember." There was a sliver of fear on Yi Zifeng's face. "Don't worry, just remember you're a member of the Nangong family." "Okay, you can go now." The cultivator waved his hand. "Yes, master, I will leave now." Yi Zifeng bowed respectfully and was about to leave. Nangong Fei suddenly thought of something and stopped him. "Zifeng, has there been much news about Moyu City, Yimo?" Yi Zifeng quickly said, "Not much. I went to Flowing Snake City once with Xiao Dai. I heard that Yimo is studying runes. I don't know why he is doing that, so I went to find out and I realized that he could make level 11 runes after a mere 3 years. I really wonder what his head is made of. His level 9 Pill King as well." Yimo was dazed. The highest level rune in the cultivation realm was level 12, since when could he make level 11 runes? He could barely make level 7 rune. He never even studied rune making. "Oh." Nangong Fei frowned as though thinking why Yimo would make runes. As a pill master, he had endless spirit stones. Would he need to waste time to make runes? Yi Zifeng said affirmatively, "Yes, master." Xiao Dai felt this was strange too. "She took me to an auction there and he bought a rune like this. I was planning to go see sect leader but master called me so I came over." Nangong Fei nodded. "Show me that level 11 rune first." "Yes, master." Yi Zifeng carefully took out a pale yellow rune and said, "Master, look, this." Suddenly, Yi Zifeng palmed over the rune. The rune brought out a yellow light and instantly stuck to Nangong Fei. "What are you doing?" Nangong Fei was furious, not expecting the obedient Yi Zifeng to suddenly do this. Yi Zifeng sneered, "What am I doing? Nangong Fei, do I need to tell you what I want to do?" As he spoke, the rune turned into a veil completely binding Nangong Fei's essence spirit. Then, Yi Zifeng released his magic artifact and smashed at Nangong Fei. As he spoke, the rune turned into a veil completely binding Nangong Fei's essence spirit. Then, Yi Zifeng released his magic artifact and smashed at Nangong Fei. Yimo thought and entered the formation without hesitation, recording with a crystal ball. When Nangong Fei was there, he didn't dare to go in as that Nangong Fei was too powerful and that formation was connected to his mind. Yi Zifeng didn't have that power. Yimo was certain Yi Zifeng wouldn't be able to know he came in. Nangong Fei couldn't even care about himself now. How could he care that someone came into his formation? Nangong Fei really didn't understand why Yi Zifeng, who was very respectful to him, would suddenly attack. He taught Yi Zifeng cultivation very devotedly and married Nangong Xiaodai to him. He knew Yimo's origin very clearly. He was Yimo's brother and came from a world that couldn't cultivate at all. This tame disciple who didn't even dare to speak loudly in front of him now suddenly attacked him. Plus, Yi Zifeng was about to leave but he called him back. If he was going to attack, why didn't he do it earlier? Did he know he would call him back? Crack. Yi Zifeng's magic artifact smashed on Nangong Fei's body, completely breaking it apart. Nangong Fei wasn't injured much though. However, he roared with fury, "Yi Zifeng, are you crazy? You dare to use level 11 spirit binding rune against me, you bastard." Seeing Yi Zifeng attack without hesitation, Nangong Fei knew it was pointless to be angry. He suddenly calmed down and looked coldly at him. "Why are you killing me? I saved your life and married Xiaodai to you. If you have no reason, you will be distraught with Heart Demon forever." Yimo took out 2 more runes and put it on Nangong Fei's essence spirit. They were level 10 only. Then, Yi Zifeng sneered, "If I don't kill you, the middle of next month would be when I die. You old fart are really disgusting. Nangong Xiaodai is your descendant, yet you want to take my body. Are you going to shamelessly marry your great-great-granddaughter? How did you knew?" Nangong Fei asked in shock. He didn't expect a clueless idiot like Yi Zifeng would know. Yimo was also confused too. "I don't know," Yi Zifeng said coldly, "but I've gone through too many things. I was a family lord, do you know? I was a city lord, do you know? I have also knelt down and begged for food like a dog. When I was fighting for food like a dog, I realized something. No matter when I was family lord, city lord, or a dog, something would never change. What is it? Nangong Fei asked subconsciously. Yi Zifeng seemed to be talking to himself. When I was family lord, they were just using my force. I was allowed to be city lord because I wouldn't betray that city and I would work wholeheartedly for that place. Just like fighting for food like a dog, that was an opportunity one had to fight for. From that day, I knew there is no free food in the world. Brotherhood. Husband and wife. Phut, these are the most disgusting excuses. Yi Zifeng stared at Nangong Fei and sneered. You saved me because I accidentally would element spirit item, but you didn't tell me I did that. You just said you liked my persistence and took me back to the Nangong village. You even intentionally let Nangong Xiaodai get close to me and fall in love with me. Then you made her nurture spirit root for me and take me in as disciple. You taught me cultivation method and cultivation. Nangong Fei, the moment I was abandoned, I knew there wouldn't be anything that was free in this world. Yet you wanted me to believe there was. Do you think I will? Seeing Nangong Fei's bleak face, Yi Zifeng said in contempt. In order to find the side effect of nurtured spirit root, I went to many markets and looked through countless jade slips. Finally, in a small stall I found a jade slip. It said that nurtured spirit roots were very suitable for possession. Nangong Fei, the more you cultivate, the smaller your body grows. You can ascend with your body. Can it pass divine damnation? If I'm not wrong, you just want to possess me. What if you guess wrong? Nangong Fei said numbly. Yi Zifeng laughed. So what if I guess wrong? I'm just killing a Nangong Fei, so what? Nangong Fei wasn't angry this time and said calmly, these few years you've been finding an opportunity to ambush me, right? You're right, but pity you haven't given me an opportunity. Even today, I almost didn't get the opportunity. Nangong Fei seemed unhappy that he only got to ambush Nangong Fei now. You're evil indeed. If I didn't call you back today, would you still come back? Nangong Fei asked emotionlessly. Yi Zifeng nodded. You're right, I indeed only have one chance and you have to create it for me. Otherwise, faced against an old monster like you, I wouldn't die many times already. Luckily you gave me this opportunity today. If I didn't succeed, I would find an opportunity before middle of next month. But you gave me the opportunity today, so I need to thank you. If I knew I would die to a minor figure like you, I might as well fight with Yi Mo head on and die in his hands. Nangong Fei sighed. Yi Zifeng sneered. Fight with Yi Mo? Don't overestimate yourself. Yi Mo killed 11 truth realization state cultivators of Pill City, including a truth realization state peak stage with low-grade immortal artifact. You need to know he was only truth realization state primary stage at that time. Now, his truth realization state peak stage. Even if all of Nangong family went, they would get slaughtered, much less just you. Seeing Nangong Fei not talk, Yi Zifeng continued. I don't know what exactly the secret of the Nangong family is, but I know that Nangong family isn't as simple as this. I will find the secret slowly. Nangong Fei was agitated this time. Yi Zifeng waved his hand. You don't need to get angry. It's good that the Nangong family resources are given to me. I will help you kill that Yi Mo. Haha, Nangong Fei suddenly laughed. So what if you killed me? Your wife was still fucked by your big brother. However, Yi Zifeng sneered. You're wrong. I'm going to kill Yi Mo not because he took my wife. Cheng Nana is not bad looking, but Yi Mo wouldn't be interested in her, and nor would she think that way. Seeing Nangong Fei look at him in disbelief, Yi Zifeng said coldly, I'm going to kill him because there's a huge secret on him. I will stand at the top, so I must take his secret. You're cruel indeed. This way, even if you kill Yi Mo, no one would say anything. Nangong Fei looked at Yi Zifeng like an idiot. Kill Yi Mo? Who did this guy think he was? If Yi Mo was that easily killed, he would died countless times. Yi Mo reached truth realization state in a few years. Who doesn't know there are secrets on him? But why does no one dare to touch him? Because all those who tried are dead. Yi Zifeng didn't explain. He knew Nangong Fei didn't believe him, but he had his way. He turned to Nangong Fei and said, You know why I haven't killed you yet? I know you really do have a dimensional magic artifact. Give that to me and I promise I won't annihilate the Nangong family. Nangong Fei said calmly, I do have it and I can give it to you, but I really want to know, how are you going to kill Yi Mo? Yi Mo heard this and realized immediately that Nangong Fei was asking this for him. He probably knew by now he was here. Yi Zifeng smiled, I have Nangong Xiaodai. I heard he really like women who are in love with him and the South Peace State 10 beauties. Nangong Fei suddenly yelled. Nangong Fei suddenly yelled. Rumble. An explosion sounded. Yi Zifeng barely released his defense magic artifact but was blasted away. He looked at the dissipated Nangong Fei in shock and realized that even with a body and his essence spirit was bound, a truth realization state cultivator wasn't someone a body condensation state could threaten. Yi Zifeng's face changed a few times before having to accept the reality. He cleared the body inside the room and left. Yi Mo didn't expect Yi Zifeng's person had twisted to this extent. He would do anything necessary to reach his target. Looking at Yi Zifeng leave quickly, Yi Mo shook his head in contempt. Even if he didn't know this, it was impossible to ambush him with Nangong Xiaodai. Was Yi Zifeng dumb or arrogant? Just as Nangong Fei said, if he was so easily ambushed, he would have died countless times already. Yi Mo walked to the only cushion in this room. Yi Zifeng opened it and saw nothing. Yi Zifeng was body condensation state, but he was still used to looking with his eyes. This wasn't a habit that one could easily change. Yi Mo was much more experienced than Yi Zifeng and scanned with his spirit sense. He saw there was a stettel formation there. From this, Yi Mo could tell that Nangong Fei was at least a level 9 formation grandmaster. Yi Mo wasn't surprised. Chu Juyu's formation heritage came from the Nangong family. Other people might never get in, but Yi Mo just spent a few minutes and got in. Inside, he was in this tunnel. There were some formation flags hanging in the air. They looked very plain, but Yi Mo knew if he wanted to go down he would have to use them. If one just stepped foot or used the wrong formation flag, it would immediately trigger a level 9 attack formation. It didn't affect Yi Mo much, but if some other cultivator triggered it he would have to await death, even if it was a truth realization state level 9. There was some distance to this tunnel, and although there was spirit sense barrier formation, Yi Mo's spirit sense could still reach the bottom of the tunnel. There was a layer of black rocks and there was more formation blocking. This was the most secret place Yi Mo had seen. Even Chu Xiaoyi's seal wasn't this heavily fortified. With Nangong Fei guarding here personally, Yi Mo felt perhaps the secret that Nangong family cultivators could cultivate so fast was here. But when he saw what was here, was dazed. Even if he saw a level 4 immortal formation or a seal flag, he wouldn't be this shook. When he came to the bottom and broke the trap formation, there was about tens of square kilometer of spirit pond. This wasn't where cultivators cultivated. The spirit ponds were in layers and each layer had countless eggs. Yi Mo knew most of the eggs here. There was not only spirit devouring bug but also fire eating bug and even some soul devouring bug. Nangong family was a bug cultivation family. Yi Mo was truly shook. Where did they get all these ferocious bugs? Chu Jiuyu annihilated the fire-eating bug demon. Although he got away eventually, but Yi Mo knew clearly the hatred between the two. Yet at where Chu Jiuyu lived, there were fire-eating bugs. Even Yi Mo couldn't understand what was going on. There were so many layers and spirit ponds here. Just how many spirit ranges and spirit items were needed to sustain this? What was the spirit liquid at the bottom of the spirit pond? How could it feed so many spirit bugs? If all these spirit bugs lived, how many would there be? It wouldn't just be 1,000 kilometer, it would be many thousands or even 10,000. Yi Mo didn't even dare to keep thinking. Unless his Heaven Flame 9 suns reached 3 or more suns, or he wouldn't be able to completely annihilate them. If the spirit bugs were commanded, he wouldn't be able to annihilate them all even if he had 3 suns. Yi Mo suddenly thought of the spirit-devouring bugs. He realized they didn't come out for no reason. It was probably related to Nangong Fei. No wonder he cared so much about him and asked what he was doing. His Heaven Flame 9 suns was a big counter to Nangong Fei. Seeing all the squirming eggs, Yi Mo felt disgusted. There was countless sticky liquids everywhere. If all these went out, It would be more catastrophic than the last disaster. Yi Mo released Heaven Flame 9 suns without hesitation. 2 purple suns instantly loomed over these spirit ponds. Countless eggs turned to dust. Eventually, all the spirit liquid were roasted dry. Yi Mo knew the things inside the pond weren't ordinary, but he wasn't interested in checking. The only thing Yi Mo didn't get was if Nangong Fei let out the spirit-devouring bugs, why didn't he go as well? Why did he choose such a coincidental timing too? After all the spirit bugs and ponds were destroyed, scorched rocks were shown. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense around here and immediately found a place that wasn't quite right. He found an incomplete formation. Yi Mo opened it and found a huge formation heart. There were countless formation flags arranged inside. They were all made with top-grade materials. Yi Mo took a cold breath in. This was a level 1 immortal formation. This Nangong Fei wasn't a level 9 formation grandmaster but a level 1 immortal formation master. The main thing was that formation disc in the immortal formation was definitely not from the cultivation realm. Yi Mo guessed that even that Jin Jinlin wouldn't be able to make it. An incomplete level 1 immortal formation was just to stabilize this formation disc. Yi Mo felt it was definitely not good if it was stabilized. He even suspected that this was a backup measure for Lu Zhengquan to come down. Without hesitation, Yi Mo took the formation disc and the incomplete immortal formation. He just threw them all the golden page world and sealed it. But Yi Mo wasn't happy. If Lu Zhengquan could have a second way of coming down, he might have a third. Yi Mo's guess was right. This formation disc was indeed a backup measure for Lu Zhengquan to come down. But Yi Mo didn't know that even though Lu Zhengquan had cultivated countless years in the immortal realm, he only got 2 of these runes to travel from immortal realm to cultivation realm, and this was because he was lucky. After Yi Mo put away the formation disc, he looked around everywhere and didn't find anything else. Then he left the village in a worried mood. He didn't even have any mood to check anywhere else in the Nangong village. He desperately wanted to ascend to the immortal realm and cultivate until he killed Lu Zhengquan. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to rest easy. Even if he ascends, Mo Yu City was still on Luo Yu continent. If Lu Zhengquan comes down, there was nothing he could do to protect Mo Yu City. Yi Mo believed with his time formation disc, he would be able to cultivate very fast if he had resources in the immortal realm. At this moment, Yi Mo trusted his instinct more and more. He guessed that the village probably didn't have a teleportation formation to the small world before, but his instinct told him he must come here. At this moment, Yi Mo trusted his instinct more and more. He guessed that the village probably didn't have a teleportation formation to the small world before, but his instinct told him he must come here. Yi Mo quickly left the village. If he wanted to tear open space, he would have to go Heartless Sea. Otherwise, he didn't know if destabilizing space here would affect South Peace State. As for Yi Zifeng, after knowing his target was him, he didn't worry about Mo Yu City. He wouldn't give Yi Zifeng a second chance. No matter what, if Yi Zifeng dared to attack him again, he would kill him without hesitation. Blue Moon rose rapidly in speed. In just 5 days, Yi Mo entered the depth of the Heartless Sea. Yi Mo was planning on going deeper before tearing open space, but a cultivator having divine damnation caught his attention. When Yi Mo saw this cultivator, his divine damnation was near the end. He was covered in black, but he had passed the divine damnation. The cultivator saw Yi Mo come over and just changed outfits while waiting. "Brother Yi." This cultivator saluted with his fists to Yi Mo politely. Yi Mo nodded. It was Meng Zhen who was chased over to this cultivation realm by Fang Yizong. Yi Mo had some good impression of Meng Zhen mainly because he saved Ling Zhongtian. From this, it was clear he was a good-hearted person, or he wouldn't save Ling Zhongtian for no reason. "Brother Meng, I heard you brought the heavily injured Ling Qianbei back." "Yi Mo, thank you." Yi Mo saluted with his fists. "You know Dao friend Ling?" Meng Zhen asked in confusion while being shocked that Yi Mo called Ling Zhongtian Qianbei despite being so much more powerful than him. Yi Mo smiled. "Ling Zhongtian is the supporting pillar of North Far State and someone I admire. Yi Mo is very grateful that Brother Meng saved Brother Lin." Meng Zhen didn't ask anymore. Just when he was about to bid Yi Mo farewell and ascend to the immortal realm, Yimo said again, "Congratulations on immortal ascension, Brother Meng." Meng Zhen smiled. "It's an opportunity of a lifetime for me, but it's very easy for Brother Yi. Last time at West Extreme State, Meng Zhen thanked Brother Yi for helping me. I need to tell you, Brother Yi, after you ascend, you need to be careful of that Fang Yizong. His sect is a big sect with a long history. It's called Demon Lin Sect. They definitely have heritage in the immortal realm, be careful." Yimo nodded. He didn't worry. He didn't even ascend to the immortal realm and he already offended so many people. But he said, "Thank you, Brother Meng. Did you find the person you were looking for?" Meng Zhen released his Kai and the immortal ascension spirit cloud came over. He shook his head. "No, I was planning to go to South Peace State to look, but I accidentally sensed the immortal ascension divine damnation on the way. I think I wouldn't be able to find Chi even if I go South Peace State, so I decided to immortal ascension." The spirit cloud brought Meng Zhen up. Meng Zhen waved his hand. "Brother Yi, we'll meet again in the immortal realm." Seeing this, Yimo had some sudden enlightenment. He sat down where Meng Zhen ascended. A day later, Yimo got up. He didn't even cultivate, but he was truth realization state level 9 now. Yimo shook his head. He was very speechless, but this was his 3 birth chant. Later on, even if he didn't cultivate, it would run itself. It wasn't much to begin with. The more powerful his spirit sense became, the more powerful the self-cultivation of 3 birth chant was. Yimo also knew he reached truth realization state level 9 partially because of Meng Zhen's immortal ascension spirit cloud. Now that Yimo had decided to ascend to the immortal realm, he didn't mind his powers increasing. He stepped foot in midair and burst out his cultivation essence. He didn't even tear the space, but space had begun to distort. Yimo knew tearing open space was very hard, so he didn't hold back. He used all of his cultivation essence and ripped in the air. Ever since reaching truth realization state tertiary stage, he rarely used all of his cultivation essence. Yimo had some experience in tearing open space. He grabbed the dimension barrier immediately. The rattling space started to distort, space within a 1,000-kilometer radius started to destabilize, and this was expanding. This was almost on par with the sea quake before. Yimo rejoiced that he didn't do this at South Peace State. As all of Yimo's cultivation essence and spirit sense exploded, there was a fissure between his hands, but it instantly healed up again. Yimo thought his power should be much higher than Chu Jiuyu, and since Chu Jiuyu could tear open space, he should be fine. But now, he realized he was completely wrong. Yimo wasn't going to stop halfway. He burned a mouthful of essence blood and ripped with all his might. Space rattled again, the distortion scared away spirit beast within a 10,000-kilometer radius. An extremely small crack was opened again, but Yimo didn't stop there this time. He used cultivation essence even more. The crack grew larger and larger as it made a ear-screeching sound. Yimo dashed inside quickly. Yimo didn't expect tearing open the void was this hard. It seemed the sea corner was really a sealed-off dimension and not the void. Yimo admired the guy who made break space runes. How did he make such an absurd rune? Yimo was thinking of going into the void first and then find a way out from there. But when Yimo flew into the void he tore open, he immediately noticed something was wrong. An extremely dangerous tearing force came charging at his side. Yimo twisted and dodged this force without hesitation. But the next moment, 2 more extremely terrifying power charged at him. If he was smashed by such power, he would be killed for certain and even torn to pieces. This definitely wasn't void fissure. Without hesitation, Yimo wanted to go into the golden page world, but as soon as this thought came up, that power smashed into him. A tearing sensation came and Yimo was blasted away by this power, splashing blood everywhere. He felt extremely weak, and just when he was about to enter the golden page world again, there was a piercing light. Yimo immediately knew he come to another realm. After eating a few pills, Yimo went into the golden page world to heal. He was certain his method was wrong. Void wasn't torn open like this. He didn't believe Chu Jiuyu was more powerful than him. With his God state body refinement, he was almost killed and couldn't go into golden page world. How could Chu Jiuyu dodge that? Chu Jiuyu definitely used another way to tear open the void and get to Earth. Yimo went into the golden page world and felt scared. After tearing open the dimension barrier, he didn't go into the void fissure nor another realm directly. He flew in a terrifying tearing force for a while. If he didn't have God-state body refinement, he would have been killed already. Ignorance was really lethal. Yimo had the small sapling in the golden page world, but he didn't want to use it. Last time the sapling healed him, it was a little withered. If he used the sapling now, he would recover quickly, but it wasn't good for the sapling. It was too small. Yimo felt the sapling would benefit him greatly in the future. Luckily, Yimo had some immortal crystals and many top-grade recovery pills. 2 days later, Yimo recovered by more than half. Only now did he realize how terrifying the tearing wounds were. If it was some other wound, he would have fully recovered already. 2 days later, Yimo recovered by more than half. Only now did he realize how terrifying the tearing wounds were. If it was some other wound, he would have fully recovered already. Yimo didn't want to stay in the golden page world anymore. He desperately wanted to know where he was now. What appeared before Yimo was a barren world. There was half soft, half sturdy soil. Was this an abandoned wasteland? Yimo got on Blue Moon and quickly left here. He wanted to find someone and know where he was. 5 days later, Yimo came back to where he left with a bad face. He realized that where he was now had no life, nor plants. There were no spirit beast nor even water. All there was this earth and light. Yimo was certain this was no cultivation realm or small world. After searching for half a month, Yimo was completely disappointed. Yimo suspected that he had gone in a ragged world. This world had been destroyed. The only thing that wasn't Earth here was a round pillar in every direction that his spirit sense couldn't scan into. There were 5 altogether. Yimo tried to move it into his golden page world, but he couldn't. He couldn't damage the pillars either. After 20 days of trying, Yimo realized that he might have really gone into someone's destroyed world. Luckily, this world's owner was dead, or he would be very vulnerable. Yimo sighed. He really didn't want to tear space again, but he had to do it or he wouldn't be able to go out. Just when Yimo was prepared to go into his golden page world at any time and used all his cultivation essence to tear, he was dazed. He couldn't touch the space here at all. In his worry, Yimo tried many times, but the reality made him disappointed. He couldn't even sense the dimensional barrier here, much less touch it. Yimo couldn't keep calm anymore. He was certain he had entered a realm higher level than cultivation realm. In the next month, Yimo ran around like crazy here. Every while, he would try tearing, but he couldn't tear open any place here. Yimo realized that this was a sealed-off world, like the sea corner. Like the sea corner? Yimo suddenly remembered that Mu Wuhue said there was a space like the sea corner called the Heaven's Edge. Was this it? But soon Yimo ended that thought. He could tear open sea corner, but he couldn't even touch the space barrier here. This definitely wasn't Heaven's Edge. Plus, if one had to tear the void open to go into Heaven's Edge, no one would know about it. 3 months later, Yimo had calmed down. There was no use if he continued. It was impossible to go find Mu Xiaoyun now. He wouldn't even be able to get back to Moyu City. Luckily, he told them before he left Moyu City that he might not go back and just ascend to the immortal realm. The only thing he could do was cultivate to truth realization state peak stage and ascend. If he couldn't even ascend here, he would really have to die of old age here in this barren world. Thus, Yimo went into the golden page world and started setting up spirit gathering formation. He had about 70 immortal crystals. Luckily, he was truth realization state level 9, it wasn't hard to reach truth realization state peak stage. He didn't have much immortal crystals left, but he still sued 7 to activate the time formation disk. Yimo left 20 and used the other 40 or so to cultivate. Cultivation was timeless, and soon, Yimo forgot he was here once he settled his mind into cultivation. The only thing that could accompany Yimo was Shadowless. Shadowless seemed to know Yimo was in a tricky situation and didn't dare to stay next to the bitter bamboo. It flew far away and left the bitter bamboo completely to Yimo. With Yimo's current power, His full-effort cultivation made the spirit Kai inside extreme-grade spirit range formed spirit mist which was devoured by him. If there weren't the immortal crystals here, no matter how many extreme-grade spirit range there were, it wouldn't be enough for Yimo's cultivation. A few extreme-grade spirit ranges were quickly used up in a few years. When the immortal crystals on the time formation disk had been used up, Yimo was still cultivating. He was Truth Realization State Level 9 Tertiary Stage, just one step away from Truth Realization State Peak Stage. The time formation disk stopped and he used up his 40 or so immortal crystals. Yimo didn't stop. He just used spirit range to cultivate and didn't use the 20 or so immortal crystals. Another year later, Yimo reached Truth Realization State Peak Stage in the pile of spirit ranges. Truth Realization State Peak Stage was something all cultivators pursued, but upon reaching Truth Realization State Peak Stage, Yimo didn't rejoice. He was worried he wouldn't be able to sense divine damnation here. If that was the case, there would really be nothing he could do. Yimo immediately came out of the golden page world. What made him rejoice was that he sensed the divine damnation. Yimo breathed easy. He was so scared he wouldn't be obliged to sense divine damnation here. The only thing he was a little worried about was that the divine damnation didn't even feel as powerful as his hollow spirit state divine damnation. But regardless, he sensed divine damnation. Yimo threw out 4 extreme-grade spirit range. There were a lot of extreme-grade spirit ranges in the golden page world, but Yimo used them too quickly. He only had 10 left now. Yimo set up spirit gathering formation as quickly as possible and used the 3 birth chant like crazy. The first wave of divine damnation came quickly. Rumble. A heavy sound blasted in the air. The colors of the sky didn't change at all. Then, there was a chopstick-sized lightning arc that struck Yimo. Yimo's heart sunk. He had never such immortal ascension divine damnation. The sound was so terrifying, but it was only chopstick-sized. When the second blast sounded and not a single lighting arc fell, Yimo knew things weren't good. He quickly packed up the 4 spirit range and flew to where the divine damnation landed. When the 5th thud sounded, there were finally 3 chopstick-sized lightning arcs that landed on Yimo. Despite its size, it gave Yimo quite some benefits. Yimo didn't have the mood to feel it, however. There was only one thought in his mind: he had to quickly find where the divine damnation landed and use the immortal ascension divine damnation's power to tear open space. Otherwise, he would never get the chance again. He guessed that his immortal ascension divine damnation was probably blocked by this space. Luckily, the laws of this dimension were incomplete and thus couldn't hide his Kai, otherwise, he might really die of old age here. Yimo was right. He didn't fly very far and the 7th lightning arc fell. These were the last 2 arcs. If these 2 disappeared and the space stabilized here again, he would never be able to leave. If he couldn't convert cultivation essence to immortal essence, he wouldn't be able to progress. Even if he cultivated for another 10,000 years, he would still be Truth Realization State Peak Stage. So, Yimo was truly desperate. He burned little less than his essence blood and used 5-element mobility with full power, darting towards where the divine damnation came from. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The sound grew louder, but Yimo saw the lightning arcs that squeezed in were getting smaller and smaller. When the 9th wave sounded, Yimo flew desperately towards the direction. As the 9th arc was about to end, Yimo ran his cultivation essence like crazy and grabbed at the void barrier here, about to tear it. This effort didn't disappoint Yimo. The space indeed became very unstable here. Yimo touched the dimensional barrier. He used all of his cultivation essence and spirit sense to tear as hard as he could on the 2 sides. This effort didn't disappoint Yimo. The space indeed became very unstable here. Yimo touched the dimensional barrier. He used all of his cultivation essence and spirit sense to tear as hard as he could on the 2 sides. He kept slicing out spirit sense blades too. It didn't matter if it was useful or not. Yimo was like a drowning man grabbing a floating board. The loosened dimensional barrier grew larger and larger, and a rainbow spirit cloud seeped in, swooping Yimo away. Yimo rejoiced. He knew this was immortal ascension spirit cloud. He devoured the immortal spirit Kai of the spirit cloud like crazy, trying to recover his power. The after effect of burning essence blood was very serious, so many cultivators didn't want to burn essence blood. It would not only make it hard to cultivate higher and would also destabilize essence spirit. Yimo rarely burned essence blood, but in order to escape from that sealed dimension, he burned essence blood many times. If he didn't quickly use the spirit cloud to recover, it might affect his cultivation in the immortal realm. Thud. Yimo was thrown on the ground like a sandbag. Immortal spirit Kai came. Yimo's heart shook. He knew he really ascended. He happily devoured the immortal spirit Kai to nourish his wounds. He didn't even want to crawl up. An injured earth immortal, he's laying here, he doesn't seem to be dead yet, a voice sounded. Yimo heard it clearly, he knew earth immortal was hollow immortal. He scanned with spirit sense, it was two cultivators, they were both hollow immortal power. Yimo crawled up with difficulty, he saluted with his fists. Friends, I was hunted here, may I ask where this is? Not right. The cultivator who called Yimo earth immortal studied. Yimo, you're saying he's not earth immortal, he's a truth realization state cultivator, right? He just ascended here, the other cultivator added. The hollow immortal nodded. That's right, he probably just ascended here and didn't go through the immortal ascension palace. The immortal ascension palace or many realms can't take immortal ascension cultivators, this can't mean he just ascended, right? The other cultivator asked, but there was some fire in his eyes. The two completely ignored Yimo. Yimo shook his head and released his blue moon. Since these two guys didn't want to answer, he couldn't be bothered asking. Near low-grade immortal artifact, flying magic artifact. This is good. The first hollow immortal stopped Yimo. Yimo frowned and stopped, but he didn't talk. Your cultivation essence is far from being converted to immortal essence, you're a newly ascended cultivator, right? The hollow immortal studied Yimo and asked. Yimo didn't want conflict and nodded. That's right, I just ascended. The two glanced at each other and nodded. Yimo had a bad feeling. He ate a few pills and was ready to fight at any time. You're saying you ascended here and not from the immortal ascension palace? The cultivator's tone became excited. So what? Yimo frowned. Haha, we're really lucky. That hollow immortal laughed and grabbed at Yimo. Yimo was shook, he didn't understand why this cultivator suddenly attacked here. Could one not ascend here? But Yimo didn't expect that. As soon as this hollow immortal reached out his hand, he stopped and struggled to turn back. Shuyi. You, why? Shuyi pulled out a white spear from the hollow immortal and said coldly, there's only one pocket world, which one of us will get it? Hearing this, Yimo immediately realized. The two knew he had a small world on him. How did this guy know? Was it because he ascended in a place other than the immortal ascension palace? Shuyi looked coldly at Yimo. Give me the pocket world, I'll leave you a complete body. Yimo sneered, but he didn't attack immediately. He asked, I can do that, but I really want to know how you know I have small world. Hearing this, there was more surprise and joy in Shuyi's eyes. He didn't explain to Yimo how he knew. His white spear drew a circle and then it flew over at Yimo. Yimo didn't feel the binding of domain at all and sneered. This guy didn't even have domain and wanted to kill him. When he released Zishu and tried to expand his domain, he was dazed. The domain he could extend in the cultivation realm was only a faint shadow here. Not good. Yimo immediately realized that the laws of the world in the immortal realm was much more stronger than the cultivation realm. He couldn't extend his domain now at all. The white spear was before Yimo. Yimo didn't dare to hesitate. He hacked out Zishu with full power. Rumble. There was a huge explosion. If this clash was in the cultivation realm, the space nearby would have been shattered already, but there wasn't even a ripple in space here. The terrifying immortal essence of the white spear came. Zishu almost flew away and Yimo was swept a few hundred meters away. He spat a mouthful of blood before even landing. Shuyi didn't take the hit too well. He was hacked tens of meters away before stopping. Yimo cursed. If he was at full power and this guy was underestimating him, he could heavily injure Shuyi. But his injuries were too heavy and he still hadn't recovered. Shuyi didn't expect that he didn't have much of an upper hand in that clash. But he looked at Yimo with more fervent eyes. Clearly, he thought Yimo was this powerful because he had pocket world. He also liked Yimo's purple kitchen knife. His white spear was his only low-grade immortal artifact, and it was rather good quality amongst low-grade immortal artifact. Yimo's kitchen knife could clash head-on with his spear without being damaged. This meant that the kitchen knife was quite good, at least low-grade immortal artifact. Thinking that if he killed Yimo, the pocket world and kitchen knife would be his, Xuyi snarled. He shook his white spear and countless white arrows flew out. They brought howling sounds and surrounded Yimo in all directions. Amidst the white arrow rain, a huge wit spear dragon opened his mouth biting at Yimo. Yimo released octagonal cauldron without hesitation. He didn't have enough cultivation essence. Break through his spirit sense was very powerful. He also released tens of lightning sword. They were black lightning. Shu Yi's eyes lit up even more. Yimo had good thing one after another. This octagonal cauldron was also very good. All these good things were in the hands of a truth realization state insect. This truth realization state insect was too lucky. But the next moment, he didn't have the expression of surprise and joy anymore. The lightning sword had completely surrounded the white spear dragon. The spear dragon made a sharp howl. Shu Yi's face went pale. Lightning cultivator? He didn't expect Yimo was a lightning cultivator and had such an absurd lightning cultivation essence. His white spear was this powerful because it contained his essence blood and part of his essence spirit. Such magic artifact feared lightning cultivators the most. Shu Yi knew that even though Yimo's power wasn't as strong as him, but he was countered. Plus, his octagonal cauldron didn't fear his white arrow rain at all. Shu Yi retreated quickly. He let out a flying sword rune. He wanted to find help to kill Yimo. He wasn't going to let such a wealthy cultivator leave. As soon as Shu Yi sent off the rune, Zishu hacked over. Illusion cloud domain kill strike. He couldn't form his own domain, but he could use the Zishu sword force to form a very small sword domain. Even though his range of the domain was reduced, it was still powerful. Shu Yi didn't plan to keep fighting with Yimo. He was ready to release Fireball to burn the body first so others wouldn't be able to tell he did it. But just after he retreated, Zishu hacked over. Xuyi struck back with his white spear without hesitation. He knew Yimo's cultivation essence wasn't converted to immortal essence, so he wasn't worried. But immediately, he realized that his white spear didn't go as fast as he had thought. It was stopped by Yimo's purple sword Kai sword domain. Shu Yi just said this and Zishu completely broke him apart. Yet at this moment, his white spear hadn't even touched Zishu. An essence spirit flew out quickly, but Shadowless was ready. How could Yimo let go of hollow immortal essence spirit? Shadowless quickly ate the essence spirit and Yimo picked up 2 storage ring. Just when Yimo wanted to burn the 2 bodies, there were ripples in space. Yimo immediately knew people came over. He didn't dare to wait at all and disappeared in a dashing light. He sensed space ripples because he learned it for catching corner soul weed. In the cultivation realm before, no one was enough to make him run, so that experience was useless. But now, Yimo put it to use. Yimo just left a few seconds and 2 figures landed here. Shu Yi is dead, Mang Rong is killed too, the latter one said and asked his friend Brother Fan. The cultivator definitely wouldn't be very far, but I'm afraid that person is at least hollow immortal tertiary stage. If we chase, the cultivator said without hesitation. Brother Fan shook his head. Mang Rong wasn't killed by someone else, he was killed by Shu Yi. Shu Yi was killed by someone else. The cultivator looked at Brother Fan in confusion. He really was killed by Shu Yi, but Mang Rong and Shu Yi are the closest. The 2 always grouped together. Why would Shu Yi killed Mang Rong? Brother Fan thought for a moment and said, I'm very shocked that Shu Yi killed Mang Rong. There can only be 2 reasons for this. 1, both of them found a top-grade treasure. Second, there was conflict between the 2. The other cultivator nodded. Brother Fan, you're right. Mang Rong was ambushed by Shu Yi. Was there something good? Shu Yi killed Mang Rong and was caught by someone else? Brother Fan nodded. Very likely. Someone who came later took all the goods. Should we chase? It wasn't long since Shu Yi notified us. That person could kill Shu Yi in such a short time. Would he be golden immortal power? The cultivator asked with uncertainty. Clearly, he was scared he would lose his life chasing that cultivator who killed Shu Yi. Brother Fan shook his head. Impossible. If he was a golden immortal, he wouldn't leave behind Shu Yi's magic artifact. Shu Yi's magic artifact is a low-grade immortal artifact. Even a golden immortal wouldn't casually throw it away. The two looked at each other and nodded. Brother Fan took Shu Yi's white spear and then flew rapidly towards the direction Yi Mo went. Yi Mo had experienced too much. He wasn't able to confirm if the people behind would be able to chase up to him, so after dashing some distance, he decisively went underground and then into the golden page world. A few seconds later, two figures landed. The Kai disappeared here. Brother Fan frowned and threw out a grey spirit beast. The spirit beast circled around a few times and called. "What do we do?" the other cultivator asked. Brother Fan hesitated and said he probably got away. There wouldn't be anything good at Weak Wind Hill. There's no need to waste time here. I heard that Goddess Ji Yang would be coming to Bai Yi Immortal City to celebrate Bai Yi Immortal City's forgery tournament. She would hold a feast inviting all of the cultivators in the city. We can also go get some free Wen Feng wine. This is a rare opportunity. The other cultivator heard this and gulped down some saliva before nodding. It said that Wen Feng wine is very delicious and can stabilize essence spirit. I wonder if it's true. I've never drank it before. Neither have I. Let's go. Brother Fan agreed and the two quickly left here. In the Golden Page world, Yi Mo didn't even want to come out and check. He was heavily injured right now and recovery was the most important thing. He opened the 2 storage ring and wasn't very excited. They too even wanted his blue moon. Clearly they weren't wealthy. Yi Mo was right. The immortal crystals combined were only about 1,000. There were a few immortal crystals that looked better than the rest. Yi Mo guessed they were middle-grade immortal crystals. As for pills, Yi Mo only found 2 lowest-level immortal pills. The rest were heaven-grade level 9 pills. These 1,000 immortal crystals weren't much for others, but it was a huge fortune for Yi Mo. Yi Mo put 7 immortal crystals into the time formation disk and started recovery and cultivation. Originally, 7 immortal crystals could last a month and it would be about 9 years inside the time formation disk. But when Yi Mo used 3 birth chant at full power, the immortal crystals were being used up rapidly. In a short 3 days, the immortal crystals were used up completely and it had only been a year or so inside the time formation disk. If this was some other place, Yi Mo's wounds would have healed and he wouldn't keep using time formation disk to cultivate, but this was the immortal realm. He was noticed that he didn't come from Immortal Ascension Palace and thus was almost killed because his cultivation essence wasn't converted to immortal essence. If Shu Yi worked with his friend, Yi Mo would have had it rough. He knew nothing about the immortal realm. He had no sect heritage nor powerful master. All his achievements were through his own hard work. He still didn't know why his immortal ascension would expose his small world. After thinking for a moment, Yi Mo put 7 middle-grade immortal crystals into the time formation disk. He had to quickly convert his cultivation essence to immortal essence and stabilize his hollow immortal primary stage. Otherwise, if he went out again he would be caught. Crack. When the last immortal crystals in Yi Mo's hands turned to dust, he found that in a short time he had used 1,000 or so immortal crystals. The 7 middle-grade immortal crystals on the time formation disk were beginning to get dim. Yi Mo estimated they would only last about 3 to 5 days. Yi Mo calculated he had cultivated about 6 years inside the time formation disk. This meant that 7 middle-grade immortal crystals could only last about 20 or so days. It seemed he needed to find top-grade immortal crystals for cultivation. After running his cultivation essence, Yi Mo sighed. He had converted 20% of it to immortal essence. He wouldn't be counted as a cultivator who just ascended. Then, Yi Mo started searching for jade slips inside their storage ring. They just introduced some ordinary places. He didn't have time to look at it before, but now he couldn't cultivate, so he took it out. From that he knew he was at the outskirts of a place called Bai Yi Immortal City. It was a middle-caliber immortal city. It was one of countless immortal cities of Wenju Heaven. Other than the Bai Yi Immortal City, It talked about a place called Laroshi Swamp the most. It was a place that low cultivators frequently went. Putting it away, Yimo came out of his golden page world. He wanted to check out Bai Yi Immortal City. He knew too little information. He needed to know where Yu Hung Heaven was and some basic things of the immortal realm. It was a small hill area around him. Now, Yimo realized he didn't know where Bai Yi Immortal City was at all. It was a small hill area around him. Now, Yimo realized he didn't know where Bai Yi Immortal City was at all. Just when Yimo was hesitating which way to go, 3 figures appeared in his spirit sense. They all used extreme grade flying cultivation artifact. Thinking that he had converted some of his cultivation essence to immortal essence, Yimo guessed that these people wouldn't think he was just newly ascended. He released an extreme grade flying cultivation artifact and rapidly chased over. Yimo didn't want to take out Blue Moon again. The 3 saw Yimo with their spirit sense and stopped. Yimo saluted with his fists. Friends, I'm Yimo. I haven't ascended for long and just came out of Immortal Ascension Palace. I want to go out and find some cultivation resource but I got lost. May I ask what palace this is? There were 2 men and 1 woman. They were all hollow immortal. The strongest was the short-haired man. He was hollow immortal tertiary stage. The female cultivator was hollow immortal middle stage and the other skinny man was hollow immortal middle stage. Yimo was only hollow immortal primary stage. You came from the Immortal Ascension Palace, the female cultivator asked in shock, clearly wondering how Yimo came here. Yimo didn't know how far Immortal Ascension Palace was from here, so he could only say yes, I came from Immortal Ascension Palace. I've ascended for 19 years but I've been wasting these years on searching for a way and finding cultivation realm. My power didn't grow at all. The skinny female cultivator said the nearest Immortal Ascension Palace in Wenju Heaven is at Yi Immortal City. Even if you don't rest on your extreme grade cultivation artifact, it would take more than 3 decades to fly here. Then she stared at Yimo, clearly thinking he was lying. Yimo didn't expect the nearest Immortal Ascension Palace from here was this far. He could only show Blue Moon, I have a half-immortal artifact. That's why I can get here so quick. Hearing this, the wariness in the female cultivator's eyes went away. She smiled, no wonder you got here so fast. This means you're not that fast. Yimo breathed easy and asked in confusion, are there more than 1 Immortal Ascension Palace? The female cultivator nodded yes, there are 10 in Wenju Heaven. Usually cultivators wouldn't go out of there. They would learn about the immortal realm first. It's very dangerous to go out rashly like you. The newly ascended cultivators are protected in the immortal city of the Immortal Ascension Palace. They can join some powers but it's not allowed to coerce newly ascended cultivators. Yimo sighed, I saw people go out of the city to look for cultivation resource, so I wanted to go test my luck too. I got lost and flew all the way here. The female cultivator smiled, there are very little cultivators who get lost but there are some. Usually cultivators would spend a few decades or even 100 years in their Immortal Ascension City to completely convert cultivation essence to immortal essence before leaving. You're really bold. Yimo had a great impression of this female cultivator, seeing her attitude was so nice. He quickly asked, may I ask how far is it from here to Bai Yi Immortal City? I asked a friend before but he was busy and just told me this place wasn't far from Bai Yi. We're going to Bai Yi Immortal City, you can come with us. The skinny cultivator said. The female cultivator said, we just came back from Laroshi Swamp. If you need to go out and find cultivation resource, Laroshi Swamp is the best. It's not very dangerous but you can find a lot. We wouldn't be coming back so quickly if it wasn't that Ji Yang Goddess is coming to Bai Yi City. Yimo pretended to say awkwardly, last time I went to find cultivation resource, I got lost until now. I've decided to cultivate at Bai Yi City for a while first. Otherwise, I might get lost again. The female cultivator smiled, you won't, it's a very simple direct route from Bai Yi Immortal City to Laroshi Swamp. But if you're going it's best to go in a group. It's very dangerous for you to go alone. The female cultivator looked at the short-haired man and said, Li Heng brother, Yimo just ascended. Let's have him join our squad. We endured the hardship like this before, I think we should help if we can. Li Heng smiled of course. Li Heng saluted with his fists to Yi Mo. I'm Li Heng. If you want to join we can go out to find cultivation resource together. We need 5 people for our squad and we're missing 2. You can join but if you don't want to you can still come with us to buy Yi Immortal City. Then thank you brother Li Heng. Yi Mo was troubled he didn't have cultivation resource and didn't know anything here as well. Now that someone invited him to join, of course he would join without hesitation. Seeing this, the female cultivator smiled. I'm Jiao Yuan, that's my brother Jiao Hu. She pointed at the skinny cultivator. Yi Mo didn't expect the 2 were siblings. They were quite capable to be able to find each after immortal ascension at only hollow immortal power. The 4 spoke and everyone got to know each other quickly. Jiao Yuan was warm-hearted and talkative. Jiao Hu didn't talk much. Li Heng was very mature and humble. The 3 gave Yi Mo the impression they weren't bad people and this was why Yi Mo was willing to join. Yi Mo finally couldn't resist his urge and asked brother Li Heng, do all the cultivators of Cultivation Realm must go through Immortal Ascension Palace to come to Immortal Realm? Li Heng nodded. I heard some heaven domains Immortal Ascension laws are broken. Immortal Ascension cultivators might not come from Immortal Ascension Palace but the cultivators of Wenju Heaven all must come through Immortal Ascension Palace. So that's it. Yi Mo answered, not getting the answer he wanted. Luckily Jiao Yuan added, I heard people say that if you have your own pocket world and have the divine damnation inside you won't appear in the Immortal Ascension Palace. But Pocket World is different to Small World. Pocket World is much higher level than Small World. Only a world with the complete 5 elements can have divine damnation or divine damnation wouldn't be able to reach inside. Li Heng smiled. Jiao Yuan, you can really think, even only a few of the powerful beings in the Immortal Realm would have Pocket World. How could the Cultivation Realm have such thing? Yi Mo realized. He had his divine damnation in a pocket world and he didn't appear in the Immortal Ascension Palace. Thus Shu Yi guessed he had a pocket world but little did he know Yi Mo had the Golden Page world. It was on a completely different level to a pocket world. Yi Mo guessed that the 5 pillars were the 5 elements. Yi Mo, you're really lucky. This time Ji Yang Goddess is coming to buy Yi Immortal City. It said she would use Wen Feng wine to treat all the cultivators Earth Immortal and above. You can make it. Wen Feng wine is very hard to buy, its price is absurd too. Jiao Yuan said. The group kept tea-laking and soon they were outside the city. Yi Mo's Moyu City was the grandest city on the entire Luoyu continent but when he saw Bai Yi Immortal City, he realized what was truly grand. It soared so high into the clouds that one couldn't see the top. There were 4 golden words flashing in the clouds, Bai Yi Immortal City. Yet, this Bai Yi Immortal City was only an ordinary immortal city in Wenju Heaven. He heard Li Heng and them say Wenju Heaven was low-ranked heaven domain. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.